Hi, everybody. Mike Bloom here with yet another piece of post House of the Dragon Season 1 content here on Post Show Recaps. And we've got a biggin for you, a big brother in to be exact. Before House of the Dragon started, we did our own form of a House of the Dragon in the form of the Big Brother house, simulating a Big Brother season using characters from Game of Thrones. But now we know these people on House of the Dragon for better and for worse. Now it's finally time to make Big Brother House of the Dragon a literal reality. Here we are, Big Brother House of the Dragon 2. Josh called this Oops All Targaryens, but there are definitely more than Targaryens in there, as finally we are seeing a Big Brother season simulated on BrantSteele with the cast of House of the Dragon. Of course, I am not alone here. We have a regular King's Guard of people backing us up to take us through this BrantSteele. Let me first introduce somebody who is no stranger, let alone the stranger, when it comes to House of the Dragon, when it comes to Big Brother, even when it comes to BrantSteele's, considering she is one of the consummate professionals behind the BrantSteele patron perk that we have for our patrons, where people get to play entire seasons of Survivor with completely fictional characters. It's the great Grace Leeder. Grace, how are you?
I'm good. You could said the stranger. It's a different fantasy show. I guess it is also Game of Thrones. I guess do all fantasy shows maybe have a stranger? I guess it's yeah. All right. Who knows? I'm
I mean,
excited to be here.
it's a
Yeah.
good concept, I would say.
Yeah. I
Just the
guess that
general
makes
idea
sense.
of not meeting someone until a
Yeah.
certain perspective.
It's true.
Well, this man is certainly not a stranger to many of these things. Not only is he a de facto Big Brother expert, having just recently wrapped up his excellent coverage of Big Brother 24, but also covered House of the Dragon as part of the Book Club podcast with DM Philly and Josh and Mari, and was on with Josh and I covering the previous installment of this very BrantSteele that we talked about previously. It is the great Taran Armstrong. Taran, how are you?
I'm doing great, Mike. Good to be here. Good to simulate a season of Big Brother with House of the Dragon characters. If Big Brother goes how it kind of normally goes in the past, I think Sir Kristen Cole will probably be our winner. But you know what? Recently, we've had a little more luck, so who knows?
Yeah, real compy, Sir Kristen Cole. We saw him in that tourney in the premiere, right? Like he could take anyone out. If they do the
Yeah.
floppy lance competition again, we know he's gonna beat Damon.
Definitely. Although Damon pretty experienced in the floppy lance department, so
Yeah, all you have to do is just get him in a vulnerable place, and yes, that lance becomes quite floppy.
Sorry. Who is Floppy Lance? Who is it?
Oh, that was Chappelle's previous username on Twitter. So yeah,
Good.
here we are. BrantSteele, for those that are not in the know and missed out on the last time we did this, BrantSteele is a website that simulates entire seasons of reality television, namely Survivor and Big Brother. We already mentioned the program that Grace is a part of that does this on the patron side. Of course, I have delved into it many a time. And so we are going to simulate an entire season of Big Brother using characters from House of the Dragon. If you are not in the know when it comes to Big Brother, we'll try to walk you along in the process. Taryn, can you give like a quick previously on, in a manner of speaking, timing wise, when it comes to what is the game of Big Brother?
yeah, so basically, it's similar to Survivor, a social strategy game where people vote each other out. But unlike Survivor, there are some like intricacies in how you're able to be voted out. So there's going to be a competition every week that will determine the head of household. That winner of the competition will become the head of household and decide which two other people in the game they want to nominate for eviction. Then everybody votes between those two people. You decide between those two people which one you want to be voted out. There is a little bit more of a complication in that there's also a veto competition every week. That's kind of like the immunity challenge in Survivor, where if you win it, you're able to either take yourself off the block or remove somebody else from the block. And the head of household will have to replace that person with somebody else. But at the end of the week, it will be between the two people remaining on the block that the vote is for. And only one of them can be voted out of the game that week. So it's interesting because you can be completely safe from a vote at the end of the week just by not having been nominated.
Yeah, and I think the thing, Grace, that is really interesting about Big Brother as a game concept that actually plays out really nicely in House of the Dragon, considering
Mm-hmm.
how the last few episodes went, right, is the balance of power. It's
Yeah.
this idea of you could be nominated one week, in danger of going home. The next week, you or one of your closest allies can win head of household, and you're safe, and vice versa. The wheels of fate tend to turn, less so breaking and more so spinning. And I feel like, again, very appropriate to the Westerosi situation.
Yeah, this is like the perfect game to encapsulate sort of the power dynamics of Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. That you could be trapped in your cell 1 week, and then you could the next episode you break through the floor riding your dragon, full of power and might. So and then maybe don't take out the targets. You want to
We'll
do.
see.
So,
Yeah, not to spoil our cast, but if one of these people wins head of household, I'm very intrigued to
yeah.
see what she's gonna do.
Yeah, so it should be very fun. I'm very excited by the cast of characters we have in front of us.
Well, that being said, let's get into it then. So these cast members are in alphabetical order. I think it's only appropriate that we start with, as the time that House of the Dragon season 1 ends, the current king of Westeros, Aegon Targaryen. Grace, I think we're all very happy that there are no windows in the Big Brother house, or
Yes.
this might be a problem.
Yes, I know you said the Kristen Cole. I mean, I think these two are going to compete for the biggest villain, perhaps of the season, between Kristen Cole and Aegon Targaryen. So, yeah, will power go to? I mean, although he might try to throw a bunch of competition, he does not exactly want to be in power. So,
Yeah, probably also worth noting, no future spoilers for
Yes.
these characters or the books or anything like that. But of course, we will be talking about the season, the full season that we've watched, season 1 of House of the Dragon.
Yeah, that makes sense as well. Adaptation, sometimes book events may not carry over. So yeah, we're specifically talking from a House of the Dragon perspective. Now let's move on to, speaking of a dragon, a very recent dragon tamer, brother of Aegon. Taran, I think it's only appropriate sometimes in other countries, Big Brother's logo is a singular eye, and that is the case as well of Aemon Targaryen.
Yeah, he's only got the one. Definitely doesn't want to lose it. So we will see. I think definite comp beast potential for Aemond, but I don't know if he's always going to be in control of his own HOH and his own power here.
Grace, any thoughts about Aemon, especially playing against Aegon, right? Someone
yeah.
that he spurned in that penultimate episode, or at least vocalized, right? I should be the king. You know, I'm the one that does all this studying. Do you think this is a type of season where the second sons will indeed take over?
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's very definitely could be the case. Personally, I'm most looking forward to Aemon being in the diary room and them trying to get him to say say you're gonna keep your eye on them or something. Like no.
Yeah, he would, unlike Jasmine, he would not give in
Yeah.
to like the big DR prompts. He's not a big DR
No.
yeller.
I don't know. He went big on the strong
That's very
puns.
true. That's very true. Yeah, he did interrupt her. He would. Yeah, he holding there was kind of like his version of a house meeting. So
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to the mother of Aegon and Aemon, someone who, in her own right, sort of learned the Game of Thrones on the fly. We'll see if this applies to Big Brother as well. Grace, it is one of what I call the big four of House of the Dragon, Alicent
Yes.
Hightower.
Yes, this is very exciting. I think it would be very exciting to see how Alicent can play, because there's a lot of talk during the show. Is like, is Alicent being controlled? Is she learning this as she's going along? What is it her own doing? And we'll see. There's a lot. She already has two of her own children in the house with her, but it'll be very interesting to see how Alicent Hightower plays the game of Big Brother.
Yeah, Taran, I think that Alicent maybe has the most connections out of anyone in the cast. Does that work for or against her in this case?
I think it works for her for the most part. I just, I really hope that nobody tries to whisper anything to her on the way out the door, because that could cause some serious issues. That she might misinterpret them and go in a whole other direction.
Yeah, no banner planes, please, especially the obscured ones. I could really just send things off into a tizzy. Speaking of sending things off into a tizzy here, Rob Cesternino, as soon as he saw these two names, immediately turned off the podcast. Been a Big Brother history. 2 times there has been what is known as a twin twist in the show, where 2 twins attempted to play as one person, switching out periodically. And in this case, we were blessed by a pair of twins in House of the Dragon who were nearly indistinguishable from each other, including from their name. Taran, it is Auric and Eric, 2 of the members of the Kingsguard.
This is my winner pick. They've got the perfect setup. They can play both sides. They're both situated in different places, and one is given the crown to Rhaenyra, and one is like, nah, I'll chill with my boy Aegon. They'll be able to divide and conquer here.
Well, that's very interesting because I was thinking the opposite. They're going to be internally divided, a civil war between them. But no, you actually see this as a benefit to their game. It's
Listen,
interesting.
we have seen, without spoilers for other Big Brother seasons, we have seen a pair of brothers win
True.
the show before. They just can't nominate themselves, and I think they'll be okay.
See,
You
that's
can
the
and
thing.
you
It's,
must.
it's against the rules that they fight amongst each other.
Yeah,
So I think
that's right.
they'll be set.
All right, let's move on here to Driftmark, the home of Corlys Valerian. Grace, will the sea snake be a snake in the game?
Yeah, I feel like we didn't see a lot of snaky behavior. There's some behavior that like I think was pushed back on to Corlys, but I feel for the most part it was a pretty like noble dude. I feel like for the most part, nobody is fully good or fully bad in the show. And so yeah, we'll see if we catch him on the live feeds sneaking around. What he's up to in the stepstones.
The live
Yeah.
crab feeds.
Why is it that when a snake ventures into the sea, it no longer has the like manipulative connotation of like like you don't think of a sea snake as like a sneaky person, but
'Cause
you
of
would think of a
sharks.
snake as a sneaky person.
I guess
Yeah.
because, like, I don't know, has anyone ever been bitten by a sneeze snake before?
I don't know.
So I don't think by a sneeze snake for sure.
Sneeze
Yes,
snake.
because that's the thing, right? Is the sneeze snakes is that the land snakes tend to have the habit more of like, oh, I got bit by one. I feel like
Yeah.
if you venture into the water, you're like, oh, I got bit by a sea snake. Everyone's saying you're lying. Those things are just slithering around. They're swimming. They're having a good time. They're
Are
not
there
focusing on you.
venomous sea snakes?
I'm not
'Cause I
gonna
feel
lie. I
like-
think I'm more scared of sea snakes than I am of land snakes.
Oh, most sea snakes are venomous.
Okay,
wow.
well.
Wow. Wild. Okay.
All right,
interesting.
well, let this be a survival lesson for people out there. If you're swimming along and you see a sea snake, do not greet it
Yeah.
because it is most likely venomous.
Sea
Yeah.
snakes are the true danger here. They're good enough that they've won the PR battle against land snakes, who are actually much less dangerous.
Now, how about air snakes? Do we trust them?
I'm fine with air snakes. You can see them coming from a mile away.
Snakes on a plane. Is that what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess that's true. Yeah, and that was a quite a good film. So yeah, they're probably the lowest ranked in the terms of where you find a snake, how much danger are you in? Well, danger is abound no matter where you find this guy, Taran, one of the most intriguing members of the entire House of the Dragon cast. How do you think Daemon Targaryen's gonna play?
Daemon Targaryen is the Pauly Calafiori of
Oh,
the House
no.
of the Dragon. BrantSteele. I feel like there's a chance he might do well for a while, but he's just going to be burning his social capital left and right. And if something goes wrong, he will not handle that adversity well.
Your boy
see-
needs his dragon meat, Grace.
Yeah, see, I wanted to say the same thing. I felt like, yeah, he's gonna be targeted by so many people, but I mean, his own brother, like, constantly just like, yeah, I think I have to fire you and move you over here. He leaves, he steals an egg, and he never really seems to actually get in trouble for anything. He literally sliced a man in half, and seems to get away with it. So I don't know. Part of me wants to really doubt Damon's ability, and then the other bird's like, I don't know. It's kind of proven that he can kind of get away with whatever he wants.
Damon's role in season 1 of House of the Dragon was like him being a production favorite on Big Brother, right? It's like Damon's eating cookies in the shower. He said who he was going to nominate. He broke all these rules. Where's his penalty nomination?
It's no good.
No good. Yeah.
Let's move on to a very different type of character. Now, look, I feel like every Big Brother season, right, we sort of get the out there type, your Ashley Iacocos, if you will, from Big Brother 14. Grace, here we have one in the form of the sister of Aegon and Aemond, Helaena Targaryen.
Yeah, child number 3 for Alicent. So just 3 children on the board for Alicent. Very interesting. But a dreamer. So yeah, what prophecies is she gonna foresee in the Big Brother house? Very interesting.
Taran, we know that the Big Brother house tend to be overrun by ants at a certain point. Do you think Helena's connection with bugs will come in handy here?
It certainly could. I think Helaena is destined to be that underdog that is just like hanging around, always knows what's actually happening in the house, always trying to get people to flip on the majority, but nobody listens to her.
That's right.
She knows what's up, but doesn't seem to really do much about it. She's far too cryptic. She's like, listen, there's a banging in the room upstairs. What are you talking about, Helena?
Yes, Shades of
it's a bang.
Dominique. Helena's gonna talk about false facts and dribbling balls
Right.
back. There's a sea snake in the house.
Yes.
All right, well, let's move on then from someone who is not very cryptic to someone who is very overt and active in what they do. Taran, Larys Strong is here. Gonna be a very intriguing character. I got to assume big like Nick Uhas initial puppet master energy from Larys here.
This guy's only here so that he can start his OnlyFeed account.
Oh no! Or someone else's.
Yeah.
Nick Macaroni's favorite player on Big Brother House of the Dragon.
Yeah, I feel like in the modern version of Big Brother, it's like, tell any person, like, maybe don't go on the show because there's a pretty good chance like you might just like be entirely hated by all of Twitter. Most likelihood of being completely canceled after the season, I think, is Larys Strong.
Yeah, he's the Lord of Harrenhal. Will that carry over to the HOH room? We shall see. No, he
I would
has
say
to burn on the way there.
Yeah, I would say most likely to give a speech akin to "Victims Aren't We All."
Oh, I like that as he tosses the cane away instead of a hat.
Yeah.
So look, we had to have some Team Black representation in terms of the children, though I think the Team Green children are the more interesting. We also wanted to memorialize a bit of the characters that we have lost along the way. Here is one example of that, the center of the Venn diagram here. Grace, it is the recently lost Lucerys Luke Valerian.
Yeah, pour one out for old Luke, but he gets another chance at life. He's brought back. He's here. Yeah.
Yeah, he's literally about like a hand and a foot representing
Larys,
Luke.
you found your day one ally. Yeah, well, this is interesting, though, Taran, because Shirley has a bit of an axe to grind against old Aemond. Even if he didn't mean it, even if that's what we read as his reaction, yeah, he's got some a vendetta, I would say, against his uncle here.
Yeah, it's just gonna be tough for him to win a competition without a body. So
we're hoping for those mental comps. But endurance, he can hang on when you're just a hand and there's no way to hold up.
True.
All right, Grace, here's another schemer.
Yeah.
Alicent's father, Otto Hightower. Now, it is possible maybe there's a buyback this season and Otto gets removed and then gets brought back.
Yeah, that's true. He knows how to bounce back from defeat. That has to be a good thing in Big Brother.
No,
I
defeat
think
is Larys.
It's gonna be a long night. Otto, I think, was like very early. I remember the first like 2 weeks of Twitter, I would be like, I hate this guy, and then it got like so much worse. So actually, I feel like Otto could have a bit of an under the radar run here. Maybe he's not the big threat, I think.
What do you think, Taran?
I feel like he's the guy that's up in your HOH room every week. Like, listen, this is what you need to do, and you're just like, shut up, dude. Don't care.
Yeah, Otto has like a bit like Kyle Moore energy to me of just like coming in and being like, I have all these plans that I need to do, and then it just all blowing up in his face. So we shall see. Rhaenyra Targaryen, some would argue one of the main characters of House of the Dragon, if not the main character. But Taran, Rhaenyra has a lot of irons in the fire at this point, has a lot of friends, has a lot of newfound enemies, friends turned enemies in the cast. Is that going to bode poorly or well for her?
I feel like she is in some trouble here. She's too visible. She is the Janelle of the season. She's got her close, friends, but she's gonna stick out a bit too far, I think, and they're gonna want to come for her. It's Rhaenyra Alice, they call it.
Yes, exactly. Can't wait for Rhaenyra to win the ability to send a raven out to the west of Westeros, and she wants to know if that certain mummer named Brittany of Spears has had her baby yet, Grace.
That's right. I think the Janelle comparison is very, very apt. This is like the biggest name, I think, on the board. Here, although there is, I guess one more person who has a pretty big stature, but yeah, who can deny Rhaenyra Targaryen? I think this could be a tough road for Rhaenyra. Tough King's Road. Yeah.
Well, this road was perhaps paved by the queen who never was, who warned Rhaenyra back in the day as to the follies she would face. Grace, perhaps riding in on a dragon to show up at the stage here to face us is Rhaenys Valerian.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, the queen who never was winning the Big Brother House of the Dragon, BrantSteele would be pretty great. Would be pretty fun. So I think I have to back this dragon in Rhaenys Valerian. Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah.
I think for me, Rhaenys is definitely most likely to disappoint us with an HOA train.
Oh,
That's
HOH
fair.
Rhaenys.
That's totally fair. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think
They're
this is
right
that
there.
perfect-
Why aren't you taking the
Yeah.
shot? Come
Yeah,
on.
the internet, the
Yeah.
fandom's like jockeying for like she's gotta win it this week. She's gonna just split the house. She's gonna break everything open, and then like she pulls a Howie right and gets missed
Yep.
into like nominating 2 of her own allies, and everyone's
This is
like,
not my war to start.
exactly.
Uh-huh.
So we shall see here. Let's move on. The aforementioned Taran, Sir Kristen Cole. Now here's the thing. Perhaps the most honorific member of this cast, perhaps to his detriment. Does that fly in a game like Big Brother?
No. It's that's he is the guy that's like, Laura, I have to stay true to my word. And then is like the biggest trash talker ever. And is like on the episodes, huge fan favorite. Everybody loves Kristen Cole. The feeds, though, the feeders, they know the real Kristen Cole. They know what he says behind the scenes.
Yeah, Kristen Cole, I feel like very much has big like. It's okay if I lie, energy, but if you lied to me, that is bad. Yeah, loyalty comes first. You know. Yeah, that's gonna be very annoying.
And what's gonna be tough is that he's gonna be wearing that white cloak around all the time in the house. Everyone's gonna get so tired of it. It's like Vanessa's beanie.
Yeah.
Yeah, just wait till he gets the HOH robe.
Oh, man, yeah. They better hope that's white, or else he's going to put in a special request there. All right, well, we began with the current king of Westeros. I think it's only fitting that we end our cast with the previous king of Westeros, who started off House of the Dragon. Grace, someone else that maybe we have to keep our eye on, a la Aemon by the end of it. It is, of course, Viserys Targaryen.
Yeah, I think I sort of suspect potentially you know, a good early run, you know, things are okay early on and then things are just going to slowly get out of hand, because I was sort of counting, you know, if things fall down the exact lines, you basically have like 7 greens, sort of 5 blacks. You have Eric and Arik together in the middle, and then you just have Viserys. And so I think even more so than Eric and Arik, he's going to have a tough time having to like, he is like the side of his wife and the side of his daughter. So
yeah, Taran, how many times is Viserys going to have to check in with the DR about some sort of medical condition that he's developing that week?
I think he's the guy that he's like, nah, I'm fine, don't worry about it, and his face is falling off.
yeah.
I think that he's the older player in the game that like wins the first HOH. So like you used to have respect for him, but he hasn't won anything since then, and barely participates in the game.
I'm excited to see if Viserys has Big Jerry energy. Viserys, perhaps. We'll see. All right. Well, we're going to get into it. I'll say right now that we've introduced the cast, of course, we are following along in video form. If you want to check that out, we'll try to describe things to the best of our ability, podcasters that we are. But if you want to follow along, you can go to the YouTube video, which will be in the show notes for this particular podcast, to follow alongside us. So we'll have our typical competitions, our nominations, our voting, and maybe some fun events in between. Let's kick things off here. I will not do an extended introduction sequence with blood pouring in, because they nixed the blood idea, much like sand in the floors of the bathroom. It was not a good idea. All right, no alliances in the house. Is that sort of is that the transition music, Taran, like your beloved BB5 outside to inside transition music?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All right, let's go to our first HOH competition here. Hot dog, we have a wiener. I fear what the hot dogs are made of in Westeros.
Yeah, of these folks playing in Big Brother competition.
Dragon Riders have a big advantage here.
Yeah, I think so.
Exactly. Like, I don't know how much the hot dogs are bucking or how much they have to bond with their wiener. Actually, if that's the case, maybe Aegon's going to have a really good job here.
Also, it's a grill. Like, if this is actually hot, then any Targaryen, should have an advantage.
That's true. You cannot burn a dragon. Let's go to our top 3 here. So our first HOH is either going to be...
Oh, wow.
The next generation here. Aemond, Luke, and Aegon. The first head of household is... Ooh, congratulations, Luke. From the grave, he has risen again to power immediately.
Just one hand.
Yeah, you called it the endurance comps.
No one becomes between me and my wiener and my desiccated hand.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now Luke, as Taran mentioned before, has to nominate 2 house guests for eviction. He has chosen to nominate Kristen and Allison. I think.
Ooh.
Listen, I put no prior relationships in. I did
Wow.
not touch a thing, but this somehow makes so much sense narratively speaking.
Yeah, Luke really
Yeah.
said, "Oh, you're gonna come for me? Fine. I'm coming for your mom and her fake boyfriend."
Well, this is backdoor plans on Aemond, right? This is like can't let Aemond play in the challenge, so I got to nominate 2 pawns here. And who
It's
cares if either
definitely
of them go
possible.
home? Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
definitely it's also possible that that Aemon went up to him and said, "Aemon, you've sealed my fate," and he goes, "No, I've sealed your brother's fate." I don't know. We'll just I don't know. Maybe he's coming for the king.
Yeah. Do you
Oh.
think Kristen Cole
Oh.
volunteered to be nominated?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is his version, right?
He
Of
wants
going
to
out
sit
to the
next to
weirwood with the
Allison.
sword,
Yeah.
being like, "I have betrayed my honor."
Yeah.
He is promising Allison right now that he will use the veto on her.
Oh
100%.
boy, we may see a week 1 Marcellus happen right now. All right, well, let's get to the veto draw. So how this works is only 6 players are allowed to play in the Power of Veto competition. The HOH, which is Luke, the 2 nominees in Kristen Cole and Allison, and 3 other people selected by random draw. Those 3 people are... Oh, so now Luke has drawn a token of house guest choice and chooses his grandpappy, Viserys Targaryen.
Has anybody else
Interesting
on the has anybody else on the shoot? Did anybody else die in season 1? Anybody else on the cast die? In
Oh,
season
yeah, could be. No, nobody else on the cast died in season
Dead
1.
people bond.
Yeah, that's right.
He
They
said,
bonded
"Look,
beyond-
I've got a hand. You need a hand."
Yeah.
Yeah, problems
Together?
with your hands.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Kristen Cole has drawn Rhaenys to participate,
Mm.
and Allison has drawn Cor.
Well,
Okay,
that's a
so
bad draw, I think.
So
for,
the
yeah.
Driftmark duo is participating, as well as Viserys here. Let's go to our first Power of Veto competition. Miami Lice. Lots of Miami Fleas, more so. Flea Bottom.
Huh.
All right, so Power of Veto is going to come down to Kristen Cole, one of the nominees, Viserys Targaryen, and the Sea Snake. And the winner is the Sea Snake.
Oh.
Congratulations.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, so this was a spelling competition, and listen, they talked about in Driftmark, right? How there was like nothing to do but just like pour over books, and so
Yeah.
it's well read.
So I said this was a bad draw, but also, they were kind of in the middle, right? Like they hadn't, it's like not my war to start. It seemed like they're on the side, but I could see them like maybe currying some favor with Allison or Kristen. So
Well, yeah, there's
Alright.
also the threat of a potential backdoor here if the veto is used.
Oh,
so.
that is Luke's grandfather who just won the veto.
Yeah,
And
he
it's
is the
hopefully
next Lord
yeah.
of
Luke
Driftmark.
is playing with 2 grandfathers right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that could be interesting as well if, Corlys didn't, as we know, Luke did not want to be Lord of Driftmark. Luckily, he doesn't need to anymore. So if Corlys,
Everyone will be dead.
if Corlys really wants to drag him, kicking and screaming into renominating somebody, this would be a way to really flex that power. Let's see. Kristen and Allison stay by the shouldn't be safe. Kristen's going to get up and do this bullshit like, you need to save Allison, not myself. I'll be fine here. And let's see if Corlys complies. He does use it on Allison.
Wow.
Well, this could also be the back door. Luke could be
This
like,
could
hey,
be all part of the
granddad.
plan.
All right, well, let's see. What was the final part of Luke's plan? He has nominated Damon!
Oh, no.
You're not my dad.
You're not my dad.
The betrayal.
Oh, and Damon
Man.
looked so wounded.
He really said, I saw what you did there in the room with my mom.
Wait, did I say
Not
Damon?
cool.
I meant Aemon.
Yeah, did a whole
like, too
wrong
late.
name thing.
Too late. Sorry.
I victory vote. Amen.
I don't
I
even
mean,
have a
Damon.
mouth. It's hard.
Yeah.
Here we go. Look at this. 2 paramours of Rhaenyra Targaryen, Kristen and
Hey,
Damon. are
Battle
on the
in
block.
episode 1, right? So here we
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
We'll see what the rematch is. Before we get to the votes, there are some house events that may play a role in not only the eviction, but weeks to come. Let's see what happens. Kristen and Helena decide to face off in a trial by combat. Unsurprisingly, Kristen Cole wins.
Ouch.
I don't know. Helena could have had like the drunk monkey style of just like being so loose and limber and such a wild card.
Wow.
Oh, Taran, Rhaenyra finds out they rated low on the stock watch. It ruins their day.
Yeah. Now look, Rhaenyra wasn't doing well there at the start.
I mean, again, both of her lovers are up on the block, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. Yeah, this is bad news. And she couldn't convince her son to do to not nominate Damon. So
Oh, a raven flies over the backyard, not the person reading. Otto is not to be trusted.
no, can it be Raven? Can it? Is it Raven?
Yeah, it's Raven saying, "Oh, y'all, Otto is not to be trusted."
Everyone in the house responds with, yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Let's see. Kristen invents a new game. The house is thrilled to have something new to do. So look at this. Kristen Cole putting in the work. He's fighting Helena. He's coming up with new games.
That social game.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's trying to make up for lost time here. And the Cargill twins, Arik and Eric, open up to Aegon by sharing a personal story. Now, did they switch off like one word at a time?
Yeah, it's this. This is the start of their plan.
So we went to
Making
this
inroads.
child fighting pit. You would not believe who we saw there.
Yeah, do you think when Aegon gets nominated, he's going to shout out all his bastard children on eviction night?
That's right. Yeah.
All right, well, let's
that
go.
I know of.
Exactly. Now, let's go to the vote here. So there are, I believe, 11 votes to evict. Let's go through them alphabetically between Kristen Cole and Daemon Targaryen. Aegon has voted to evict Daemon. I think
Makes
that
sense.
makes sense. Aemond has voted to evict Daemon. Yeah, we could see a Team Green versus Team Black voting here.
Mhm.
Alicent, recently taken off the block, votes to evict Kristen
Yeah,
Cole.
sick of that guy.
Yeah, she's like, all right, hold on. Can I just get rid of this thing?
Yeah, he didn't
I like
even
he's done.
he didn't cut out Luke's eye when I wanted him to. What good is he?
Like, it was fine when we were in like a whole castle and I was
Yeah.
the queen, but in this house, I can't get away from him.
The twins vote to evict Daemon. Okay,
Mhm.
so has 3 votes Daemon, 1 vote Kristen. Takes 6 votes to evict. The Sea Snake votes to evict Daemon.
Oof.
4 votes Daemon. Helena faced off against Kristen Cole in trial by combat. She votes to evict Daemon. Okay, game respects game. All right, so that is 5 votes Daemon. Another vote should do it. Will Larys Strong, much like his family, be the nail in Daemon Targaryen's coffin? No, he
Nope.
votes Chaos
Yeah.
as the ladder.
No, get rid of this guy. I need to be close to Alicent, you know?
All right, Daemon's hanging on by a silvery thread at this point. 4 votes left. Any of them
Ooh.
for Daemon.
If
would
it's
send him out
Otto's
here.
vote that clinches it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Otto votes to evict Sir Kristen Cole.
No!
I mean, Alicent, I think, right? Like, tells her dad, he's like, okay, I get you. All right, this is becoming interesting. Now it's 5 votes Daemon, 3 votes Kristen. Rhaenyra has a tough choice here. Who does she get rid of? The old boo or the new boo? She votes to evict Sir Kristen Cole.
Wow.
Okay. All right. Rhaenys, the queen that never was. Now, Corlys voted to evict Daemon.
Yeah.
Does she vote alongside him? That she has shown her independence previously. Rhaenys votes to evict Daemon Targaryen.
It almost came
wow.
down to Viserys.
Yeah.
She said, "Why did you call me out on not burning down
Yeah.
the other Targaryens?" Viserys, for the record, okay, was
Wow.
going to respect his brother.
Wow.
Voted Chris so by an incredibly close vote of 6 to
Well-
5 in the very first eviction, giving like Big Brother 11 vibes here. Daemon
feel like
Targaryen, first evicted.
I feel like that's Corlys and Rhaenys, right? Being like, listen, Luke, I got a different plan. We gotta get rid of Daemon. Corlys has gone to war with him and knows how dangerous he could be. So yeah.
Very true. So yes, unfortunately, Daemon Targaryen, you have been evicted from the Big Brother house, and Daemon, after leaving the house, steps into a nice blue police box and just vanishes into thin air. Nobody knows exactly where he goes, but
Yeah.
that's the end of Daemon. Daemon, first boot of House of the
Oof.
Dragon.
Wow.
That's wild.
With a little bit a close vote, like I think, Rhaenyra's probably like totally blindsided. It's fun.
All right, well,
Maybe
we'll
if
see
he
how-
hadn't killed his ex-wife, he would have had another vote there.
Yeah, he's not really getting. We're getting the at-home segment, right? That's like Daemon Targaryen murdered his wife in the Vale.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, well, let's move on here to week 2. Daemon is gone, but not forgotten. No alliances still to be formed in the house. Everyone's trying to explore the map, as it were, and a fire has really been lit under it, much like in Dragonstone. We have another HOH to crown here. Glass houses. Oh, another endurance challenge, but Luke cannot participate. Comes down to Alicent, Helena, and Corlys. Okay, this is interesting. A Helena HOH in particular would be very strange. The winner of HOH number 2 is Helena Targaryen.
Amazing.
Now, this is interesting. Taran, by my measure, second week HOH has never won the game before. Could Helena break this curse?
I don't know. I mean, she's got the vision here, but again, I don't know about the execution.
All right, let's see what that vision details as we get into her nomination ceremony. And she walks out and she's like, "Who wants to see my HOH room?" And it's just a basket full of bugs. Here's a picture of all my friends. Let's see. I've chosen to nominate. Oh, okay. Really green on green violence here. The twins, Auric and Eric, as well as her own brother, Aegon Targaryen.
Also
Brother
husband.
and husband, yes.
Also husband, yes.
Yeah.
I heard what you said about me. I know what you will say about me.
It was weird when they're going, who wants to see your like, do you want to see pictures of my husband? Like, he's literally right there.
But hers is like a picture of a cockroach. Like, that's my true husband. That's who I'm having an affair with.
You definitely got the sense that he wasn't a great husband. So
yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess, they're taking out their marital difficulties through Big Brother, as all great couples do.
Correct.
Let's see how that plays out. So, competing alongside these 3/4 people in the veto competition are Alicent. Oh, Auric and
Fellow
Eric do house
Kingsguard.
guest choice, and they said, all right, Kingsguard, stay strong here. Let's go with Sir Criston Cole. And Aegon picks his daddy, Viserys. So a lot of, Targaryens are in this.
Do you
so
love
I think
me now, Daddy?
Exactly. All right, let's see what happens here. The deck is stacked pretty much in favor of the Greens at this point. BBB movie. Oh, B movie. I think that's up Helena's alley right now. Let's see. It comes down to, indeed, Helena, Aegon, and Alicent, an HOH, a nominee, and a rando. Let's see. The winner of the week 2 veto is Aegon. Congratulations.
Ooh.
Wow.
A golden crown and a golden power of veto.
Yeah, I mean, he did not want to be king, and then when he was like crowned king, he was pretty friggin' jazzed about it. So I can see him being like, "I'm nominated? No way! I'm gonna go win the veto."
Think he thrust the veto in the air.
Yeah.
He's actually in the diary room like, can I have the silver power veto instead? I thought that was a little cooler.
Exactly. What is this smelted out of? Who did this belong to previously? All right. So Aegon is obviously going to use the power of veto on himself. Let's see who Helena, as she gets up, is going to say. This was all, I saw this happening. This is why I nominated my husband as a ruse. So I'm choosing to nominate my true target, Rhaenyra.
Oh, wow.
Go join your husband.
Wow.
They're going straight for the heavy hitters.
For real.
I mean, this could be possibly looking ahead to season 2, right? The
Get the head
Greens
of the
plan of
dragon,
attack
yeah.
right now. All right, let's see what's happening in the house here. Alicent invents a new game. The house is thrilled to have something new. Did this make sense, right, Grace? A bit of a social butterfly in Alicent.
Yeah. She's social. Yeah, she gets on. She tries to to hang out with Rhaenyra and invent this new game. Cheer up. Yeah.
It's the game is I Spy with some tapestries.
That's right.
But someone who needs a bit of cheering up here, poor Luke, goes from the HOH room to not only having to find a bedroom, but also now Tyranny's come down with the crazy grayscale.
Yeah, which is pretty difficult to get when you're only a hand and a foot.
Yeah, it's
so
like 90% of his body is now grayscale.
Yeah, they called in, the maester with the knife to flay it off. And they're like, oh, this will be either easier or harder than we thought it would be.
Yeah. Can't not
right.
hear grayscale. Just so.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, here we are. Eviction number 2, and it may be 2 people that are going home right now as our twin twist might be blowing up a la Big Brother 17 immediately in our faces here, as it is the twins, Auric and Eric, versus Rhaenyra Targaryen. Big main character versus tertiary character energy And we shall see, much like in Game of Thrones, right? Do the main characters get axed early on here, or will the tertiary characters just get, much like the people of King's Landing when Rhaenys took flight, just get mercilessly picked off?
Yeah, either way, we're gonna have a little bit easier time pronouncing names and not getting people mixed up, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, so this is good.
All right, let's start again with Aegon. Recently removed from the block, he votes to evict Rhaenyra.
He did bond with the Auric Eric.
That's
True.
true.
Will his brother vote alongside him? No, he votes to evict
Ooh.
Auric and Eric. He said, "Listen, we did a better job than you two did of finding Aegon. Like, I'm repping here with Kristen Cole." Alicent votes to evict Auric and Eric. Yeah, I mean, listen,
Wow.
we know she has a soft spot for Rhaenyra. We saw in that penultimate episode, she was the one that was very set on, like, we cannot kill Rhaenyra outright. So clearly she sent that page on her behalf. Now let's see. Corlys votes to evict Auric and Eric.
Wow.
There's 3 votes to evict Auric and Eric. 1 vote to evict Rhaenyra. I should have mentioned here 10 votes to evict. So you need 6 to completely evict. 5 if there's a 5-5 tie. Then the HOH in the form of Helena would cast a vote to evict. Larys Strong votes to evict Auric and Eric. That is 4 votes to 1. Luke, if he votes out his own mom here, woof. He votes to evict Auric and Eric. Okay, that is 5
I think
votes.
people are going to regret potentially not voting for Rhaenyra. She doesn't get voted out.
Sir Otto Hightower, who once again commanded Rhaenyra's execution not but 2 episodes ago on House of the Dragon, votes to evict Auric and Eric, just going with the house, as it were. And that
I don't like
should-
2-timers.
well, there are 2 of them, and there's not a lot of time
Yeah.
that we'll see them on screen, but that should do it. Rhaenys voted to evict Rhaenyra. She said, "I warned you." Perhaps as a bit of a warning shot. Kristen Cole, of course, votes to evict Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
He's PO'd at her. And Viserys, of course, votes to evict Auric and Eric, again, showing the soft heart that he has. So ultimately, by a vote of 7-3, the twins, not the place, but the people, have been taken out.
Yeah. Auric and Eric, pour one out.
Yeah. So unfortunately, 2 did not necessarily apply to 1 in this case. They probably just thought it was also a case of mixing them up too much. Definitely a Chef Joe situation of like, God, Auric sucks. I am Auric. What's going on? What's good? So I think they just wanted to get rid of that to make the house chemistry a bit better.
I think Helena saw right through their plan. She saw that they were trying to play both sides, and they got caught early.
All right, let's move on here. Week number 3, as we are down 3 people across 2 weeks, as it were. Let's see if any alliances are forming. Nope. Still footloose and fancy free, much to Larys's pleasure. We need a new HOH. The big brother.
Rhaenyra's been really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rhaenyra has been sandbagging these competitions.
She's just been actually just been pregnant though. I think it could be I'm having a baby.
All right, well, let's see. It's going to come down to Alicent, Aegon, and Corlys. Interesting. We have 2 nominees from the first 2 weeks, as well as 2 veto winners from the first 2 weeks. The winner of the Week 3 HOH is Alicent, Queen once again.
I said uh-oh, but I don't know what's uh-oh, but this will be very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
The greens are doing well here.
They are.
The blacks started with a week 1 HOH, but ended up taking out one of their own.
That's true.
And now we have 2 green HOHs back to back.
Now, you never know with Alicent, though, because, again, she has a soft heart for Rhaenyra. She certainly had some bones to pick with her late husband, Viserys. She could use this as much like Helena did. She could use this as an opportunity to perhaps get some marriage therapy going on.
Yeah, there's no divorce, I don't think, in Westeros. So voting them out is the only way to do it.
All right, so Alicent is going to pick up the nomination block, which is shaped like the sigil of the 7, and is going to pull out the various keys to reveal her 2 nominees, Luke and Rhaenyra.
Well, that's a shot. That's a shot.
Really taking umbrage with the "I should have cut your eye out" back on Driftmark, and they didn't let me.
Really.
Unfortunately, what happened was Auric, on his way out the door, said, "I wish I could have lent you a hand." And then she was like, "A hand? Luke? Are you saying I need to target Luke?" Oh
And
my
She ran
God.
around the entire time being like, we've got to do this. It's Luke. I got to whisper to me. This is what we need to do now.
And then she did go like when she won HOH, and then all the greens are in there, and like, yeah, we're obviously gonna put up Luke and Rhaenyra. We don't need a sign from
Yeah, she's like, wait, you already figured this out
Yeah,
before
Yeah,
I
we've
won
been planning
HOH?
this. Yeah,
I'm telling you, Arik said so.
and they're like, I know, we're gonna put up Luke and Rhaenyra.
Let's go in the backyard, toss the brain ball around. We don't need to worry about this anymore. So yeah, despite voting for Rhaenyra to stay in what seemed like an extending of the olive branch, that branch was promptly burned by Dragonfire, as Alicent has nominated not only her close childhood friend, but her sole son in this game. Let's see who's going to be participating alongside them in the veto draw. We have Rhaenys participating. We have Luke draws Aemond.
Oh no.
You knew he grimaced when he drew that ball.
Are these the balls?
The Stormlands all over again.
Yeah, these are the balls, right? They put them down on their placard, and then the name
That's
pops
right.
up. Rhaenyra draws house guest
my
choice
God.
and select Aegon.
Why? So Aegon did get nominated by Helena, and he voted. I guess he did just vote for her. I believe so.
It could be a thing of like, hey, you're an heir, I'm an heir. Like we get this situation, right?
Or is this
Daemon's gone, he was an heir.
Is this one less person who's actually going to be interested in winning the competition? I know he's won a veto, but it does feel like he like constantly feels like he's just going to give up, right?
Well, we saw that there was a dead person alliance. Perhaps there is also a like regent alliance.
Yeah.
We are king and
they're
queen.
Yeah, exactly. Like, listen, I looked ahead and I saw the War of the Five Kings. Like, they kept fighting and killing each other. Why don't we work together right now?
To be fair, brother and sister. So, you know.
Exactly.
And also,
could have been wed once.
That's right. That's right.
He did win half of the veto competition so far, too. So maybe they're hoping for, like, a Jamaica situation, right? Like, Aegon, Alicent is very devout. It's like, okay, I picked your brain ball. Therefore, you're going to, if you win, you're going to take me off the block. Let's see if that prophecy comes to be. A lot of piñata, so foreign concept to everybody in Westeros right now, comes down to Aegon, Rhaenys, and Aemond.
So
Interesting.
3 people picked.
Yeah, none of the nominees or HOH won this one. Again, they don't know what a piñata is, so they were very mystified by it. The winner is Rhaenys.
Ooh.
And here she is, finding herself in the middle once more. Will she say, this is not my war to fight? Or will she draw blood here? Rhaenys?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I felt like it was the Valerians who were like sort of made a move against Daemon. So be very interesting to see if they continue that so publicly.
Rhaenys has decided not to use the power of veto. Luke and Rhaenyra, one of you is going to be going home, making this family tree just a little less gnarled.
I think there's like a conversation there, right? Where it's like, listen, Rhaenyra, I cannot save you because Corlys could go. I mean, that is her grandson. She chose not to save. So that feels, but she probably feels like Rhaenyra has too big of a target. Is going to go.
Yeah,
home,
but also Corlys did use the veto in week 1, right? Which I think was very much like a power move of like, no, you are the Lord of Driftmark. I'm making you use this veto.
Her veto speech is, this is not my nomination to disrupt.
That's right.
All right, so let's see what other fire is being brought across the Big Brother house as we move into our third eviction. Helena and Luke bond. I think this makes sense. The respective like black sheeps of the family. Neither one of them want to get involved with anything to do with House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Luke also makes an effort to improve relationships in the house. He's like, okay, I saw what Kristen Cole was able to do. I'm going to make a strong bond with everyone, but please don't say I'm making strong bonds. That really ticks me off.
Are you just imagining, because now I think that Luke is essentially just a thing from the Addams family? He's
Yeah.
Yeah, around the house? Yeah, okay, perfect.
Listen, it's an easy pitch to make because you could take him for his word because there are no words. It's just various hand signals.
Genuinely,
Helena,
in my head, like the visualization of Luke making an effort to improve relationships in the house, and I didn't even make a joke of it. It was just what was in my head, was a disembodied hand shaking people's hands.
I love that. That's all you need to hear. It's just like shooting the finger guns, giving a nice thumbs up. That's all you need. Sometimes nonverbal communication is the best style. Helena irrationally lashes out at Aegon.
All right, well, let's not be
Irrationally.
sexist here. I think
Yeah.
it's pretty rational.
Yeah, come on.
I don't
Yeah.
know what she's doing. It's not like he's a negligent husband or anything like that.
This is one where you're on the live feed there being like, so, like, this is gonna be pretty great. We finally see Helena, and then the episode airs, and you're like, oh my god, they've edited this to make Aegon look like amazing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so annoying.
Yeah, the king, of course, gets displayed as a golden boy here.
Yeah.
Helena kind of forgot about
Oh
the
my
Iron
God.
Fleet. It is of no consequence. Yeah, no Iron Fleet to be seen here as of
She's
yet.
got a lot to deal with. She's got a lot of things in her head.
Yeah,
You
listen, if it was a spider instead of a kraken, I'd be more into it.
who had these kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet.
I made this an event.
I love that you kind of like, remember the Iron Fleet? She's like, like kind of.
I mean, arguably the best meme to come out of Game of Thrones season 8, I would say.
Oh, that's so good.
And also, Corlys and Viserys bond slightly. Okay, listen. Some
Mm.
ground has been made up since those old days of Corlys being angry at Viserys for not helping at the Stepstones.
Well,
you
it's
think
really
Viserys
Daemon.
promised he would marry Lena finally?
That's
Once
right.
we get out of here, this is like when they promise to do like Vegas or something right after they get out of
Yeah.
the show. We're
Yeah.
like, we're going to go on a road trip together. Yeah, I'm totally going to marry your daughter. How old
You
is
wanna-
she? That doesn't matter.
It's actually Viserys had to agree that Lena could be his amazing race partner.
Oh, no. All right. Well, as long as the roadblock isn't who's I don't know, who's not going to get burned up by Dragonfire,
Yeah.
then I
She
think.
can carry him around in a bucket.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. It's the perfect pairing, I would say. Fire
Yeah.
and liquid, in a manner of speaking.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the votes here. So, yeah, blood is being drawn here between Luke and Rhaenyra. Now, Luke did show a bit more competition prowess by winning the first competition. Rhaenyra has sucked outwardly at the
Mhm.
competitions. But Rhaenyra, I would say objectively, has a bigger name. Let's see what ends up happening here. Despite Luke not surviving the night, one of them will not survive the vote. Let's see. Aegon is going to vote for Rhaenyra, repeating the pattern. Aemond is voting for Rhaenyra. 2
Oof.
votes to evict Rhaenyra. There are 9 eviction votes total, so 5 will be the magic number here. Corlys votes to evict Rhaenyra.
Brutal.
Well, Helena, you never know. And Aegon she may want to turn against her spurned husband here. Aegon votes to evict Rhaenyra. Okay, they're on the same page. One more vote. Could Larys be the one to do it? Larys Strong votes to evict Rhaenyra. Yeah, could this be much like the realm unanimously at one point bent the knee for Rhaenyra Targaryen? They are unanimously, not bending the knee. Frickin'
Wow, is that a hinky
Cole.
vote?
no, he made a promise. He's
Yeah.
like, by my honor,
Yeah.
I will listen. I have a relationship with Rhaenyra. I do not with this bastard son. I can easily vote him out.
Well, I mean, let's be real. Kristen feels like you think she might like me if I don't vote for her here.
You think he says in his goodbye message like, yes, I'm so sad to leave you, but hopefully we can continue to do things outside the house.
Mhm.
To be fair, I do feel like Daemon and Rhaenyra being on Twitter for the full season is probably the best 2 people to be on Twitter all season, commenting about the house.
If this is forecasting the future of House of the Dragon, things are looking pretty bleak for Team Black here.
It's very bad.
Yeah, at least a bad start for them, considering that, I would say their main 2 leaders essentially got taken out pretty much one right after the other.
Yeah, 2 of their main representatives left in the game are 2 of the dead people.
Yep.
Yeah, listen, we give the dead voices or not in this case, and they shall persist here. Well, let's move on. In the wake of the loss of Rhaenyra Targaryen, 11 remain here in the fight for the Iron Throne. Again, no alliances being formed at this moment. Let's get to our 4th HOH here. I almost said BB Rhaegar. That feels like a different person entirely.
Uh-huh.
All right, so let's go here. HOH comes down to Helena Aegon and Luke. Interesting. Helena or Luke could be our first second-time HOH in
All
4 weeks.
four of the top 4 here have been competing very well. Helena, Aegon, Luke, and Corlys all keep finishing in the top, sections.
Can I just say earlier it says the competition I think is like done in 6 legs or something, and Laris was like, "Oh heck yeah," and then got very distracted. Yeah,
It does say 6 kegs, not 6.
Oh, I read legs, and
It does look very much like legs.
And Helena's like, great, this is fantastic for me too. So let's see. Helena, Aegon, and Luke. Our 4th head of household is Helena, going back to back.
Visionary, a dreamer.
I mean, much like, Michael from BB24, it's oftentimes the people you least suspect end up becoming the comp beast here. Now, last time Helena did nominate her husband. Let's see if she ends up repeating the pattern here or draws even more family blood. Helena stands up, and by the way, it's the person they at least want to see get back into the HOH room again, because again, her basket is full of even more bugs, which have now just overrun the house.
Yeah.
Helena has nominated Aegon and Otto, her uncle and her brother husband.
Her uncle, her granddad.
Oh, grandfather. Yeah, I guess grandfather. She's playing with both grandfathers here.
Yeah, a lot of grandfather. I have to tell you, trying to keep track of the relationships might be a pointless effort for us. I think they're also their cousin. Yeah.
All right. Joining them in the veto competition, we have Larys Strong, Viserys, and Otto drew house guest choice and selects Aemond. Really good choice. Yeah. I think people are like, okay, you think to pick Aegon, but no, he's already, nominated. And also, Aemond, I know that you're actually better at all of this than your brother is. Come bring home a competition win for me.
Yep.
All right. Veto competition. BB Freak Show. Let's see who is the... And now that could be good for Helena. Unfortunately, she does finish 5th.
Is this one where they merge up all their faces? That's what they're doing. They all are lookalikes, right?
Yeah, well, I was gonna say it's very incestuous anyway. So like they're pretty much like
it's just like a picture of like Viserys every time.
Exactly. They all have straw blonde hair. Like, okay, I can't tell whose that is. Is that Rhaenyra's? Is that Daemon's?
That's right.
All right, so it comes down though to the brothers Aegon and Aemond, as well as Larys Strong, who is very observational, right? He's always skulking on the HOH balcony above things, and nobody seems to notice.
Well, look, if it's a whole body thing, then he'll nail the feet every single time.
Unfortunately, he does not nail it this time. Aegon
twice
wins his second power
both on
of
Helena's HOHs.
She can't get him out.
Yeah, I'm loving this storyline that Helena keeps trying to take out her own brother husband, and he refuses to leave. All right, so Aegon is going to once again use the veto on himself. Helena will stand up and say, ho. Once bitten, twice shy. This is all played into my trap once more, like my beloved spider. And so I will nominate Corlys.
Whoa. That's big. I do feel like Corlys and Rhaenys have been like trying to, they've been trying to get away from being perceived as Team Black. I think Helena sees right through it.
Well, and Corlys and correct me if I'm wrong here, I believe Corlys and Otto did not get along entirely well on the King's Council. No. I know that Daemon was the more of the thorn in Otto's side, but I know that when Corlys made off to the Stepstones, I think Otto was the one that was like, we don't need to send anything. We're good. Yeah. They can take care of it on their own.
Corlys a big target here. He's been competing well.
Yeah.
I find it hard to imagine that they'd vote out Otto over Corlys unless Otto is so annoying that they're just like, get rid of this guy.
Well, there was the thing. I don't think we saw it in the events, but Otto kept being like, "Hey, Alicent, you should go put on your finale dress. You should go put it on.
Ooh.
You should go put it on and walk.
You
around
look
the
like
house.
your mother.
Yeah, you look like your mother. Yeah. So we'll see.
All right, more stuff to happen. The pressure of the game gets to Kristen Cole, leading him to a public emotional breakdown. God, this man.
In the yearwood, I think. Like Elsa's like, stop having an emotional breakdown, please. Yeah.
Oh, Kristen attempts to steal Aegon's dragon. Here we go. Turnabout is fair play here.
Wow. What is Aegon's dragon?
Oh yeah, great. You're the master of dragons here.
Yeah, I gotta. I'll have to. Did you write Sunfire? I think it was right Sunfire. So
Sunfire. Ooh,
yeah,
yeah.
I believe
Kristen
so.
Cole. Well, Kristen Cole is from Dorne, right? Which has the sun
True.
as his sigil. So he's like, this is mine to ride.
Yeah, that's right. Normally doesn't go too well if you try to take somebody else's dragon. So yeah.
It worked out well for Aemond. Just lost again, like you said, he lost an eye, but he gained a dragon.
Mhm.
Aemond, Larys opens up to Helena by sharing a personal story.
I don't want to see this scene. I am okay.
No, actually, I
Past.
kind of like it, right? Where Larys is like, oh, once upon a time, I arranged for my family to be burned alive. And Helena's like, oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
I
which is
love
yeah.
that.
Yeah, do you think you could do that to Aegon, please?
Exactly. Please
Yeah.
have that happen to Aegon at least. A banner flies over the backyard. Raven says, Kristen Cole is not to be trusted.
Yeah, that makes
He is
sense.
not
Yeah.
my buddy.
Poor guy's having a. Maybe this is why he had an emotional breakdown.
Yeah, I think Kristen
Yeah.
starts blanketing right in his white cloak.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's good. I like that.
All right, here we are, week 40, Corlys versus Otto. 8 votes to evict. No, trying to think. Yeah, 8 votes to evict right now. Let's see how it goes. Aegon votes to evict Otto.
Ooh.
His grandfather.
Aemond votes to evict Otto as well. They might be done with Otto, much like the fandom of House of the Dragon. Alicent votes to evict Otto. Oh,
She voted at her dad.
He really did just annoy them too much.
Yeah.
He was just constantly trying to make them do things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Corlys is like, I'm the sea snake, and I was like, I prefer lizards personally. Larys votes to evict Corlys. Okay,
Ooh.
again, spreading that chaos right here.
This is
Now,
interesting. If the Alicent and her children cannot get out their own father, that feels like a bad move. If they're not able to secure the votes here. Yeah.
well, Luke is going to vote to evict Corlys.
Oh!
Also his grandfather.
This dumb kid. This dumb kid. Rhaenys. Now, hopefully, ideally,
Yeah.
Rhaenys would not vote to evict her own husband. In a
Well.
perfect world, they seem to
Well.
make common ground, right? He apologized to her on Dragonstone. She is going to vote to evict her freaking husband.
So we're
Yeah.
tied. We're tied.
A 3-3 vote.
It depends. Sometimes it's the last conversation you have with somebody, and
Okay, I said earlier that it'd be bad for Alicent and her children to try and vote out their father. It's also very bad if Luke and Rhaenys don't have the votes to vote out their husband and grandfather. So
let's see. Sir Kristen Cole, who did he promise his vote to? He votes to evict Corlys.
oh
Ooh.
wow.
So
All right.
this is interesting. If Viserys votes Corlys, it's Corlys. If he votes Otto, it comes down to a tie, and Helena will break the tie.
Now, what is interesting is that Corlys and Viserys did have a period of time where they bonded. However,
yes,
Otto
did.
Hightower was 2 out
Yeah.
of 3 times we saw him the hand of the king. Viserys Targaryen votes to evict Otto!
Wow.
A tie vote.
Freaking Viserys.
So-
I was like, I can't make up my mind.
Yeah, it's so interesting because Aegon and Aemon and Alicent and Viserys vote for Otto. So will Helena go with them? But she's trying to get out Aegon, so certainly she doesn't want
Yeah.
to vote. So yeah.
So Elena stands up. I can't believe I made these speeches so many times. Me of all people. So we have a tie. And Helena is
Wow.
going to evict Otto Hightower. She's going to go along with her husband at the end of the day here. Respect her mother's wishes to vote out her grandfather.
And
I think, yeah.
and Corlys manages to survive by the skin of
Yeah.
his teeth, like at the end of season 1.
Exactly.
Does anybody get rated highly, even middle of the like everybody just made a very bad move. Everybody. I can't think of one person who made a good move this
Yeah,
week.
this is a tough one to have a long-term storyline for, because
Well, it does. It's like both sides were like, all right, we're gonna make the move on the like powerhouse of our we're gonna cut the head off of our own snake and a sea snake, and then it's like the the move where like you always wondered like what if two people flip on a tie vote in Survivor? It's kind of what it
Yeah.
feels like. Yeah.
It's wild. And so it somehow is now pouring inside the Big Brother house as Allison sees Otto out, right? And he's like,
Yeah.
you just watch out. You've been warned. You made a grave error. And I do not think he will be coming back this time. So Otto Hightower does not come out to the cheers of the crowd, I will say. Maybe cathartically so, is off. And we are down to 10. Final week before the jury begins.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Big names have been eliminated.
Once
Still
again, no
no
alliances.
alliances.
I mean, makes sense given the fact that the cockamamie vote that we saw last time.
The dance has not started.
No, that's right.
We're still awkwardly shuffling around right now, much like a bull in a china shop. I don't think bulls are not a sigil of any Westerosi house, right?
I don't know.
I think so. So yeah, no shoo-ins right now. But HOH is going to come down to Lara Strong, who probably had a really interesting time. For those that recall, this is the one that Gina Marie won, right? Where there's a rotating cylinder and you have to walk on it. Another endurance challenge.
Gendry had a bull helm, I believe.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I guess that he did. So maybe it's just rowing a boat for as long as you can.
That's
So it's
right.
Lara
That's
Strong, Aegon Targaryen, who has seen the block a number of times, but ideally like to be putting the keys in the box, and Alicent, who would be repeating her HOH reign here. The winner and guaranteed to make jury is Lara Strong. Okay, out of the
Ooh.
shadows here, has really been on the outside of things, now gets a chance at power.
This is a nightmare. This is he's having one-on-one meetings and he's saying, leave your shoes at the door.
Yeah, he's like, oh, where are the pictures of your family? He's like, I don't want to see them.
These are the pictures of my family, and they're just pictures of feet.
There's an absolute meltdown on Twitter on Thursday night as like the results come in that like, oh, Lars won HOH. Everyone's like, oh no, this is the worst week.
Well, let's see if that, much like Helena, were our predictions correct here. Larys gets up and nominates Aemond and Corlys for eviction here, really playing both sides.
Taking big shots. Not surprising for Larys.
And I think it makes sense, right, that Larys is a bit vindictive and is like, Corlys, keep that seat warm, buddy. I know you want to sit on the driftwood throne, but here's another seat that you'll be occupying for much of your time in the house.
Larys just trying to vote out Corlys, I believe, too. So
very true. Maybe see if he can finish the job. So participating in the veto alongside the three of them will be Larys draws house guest choice and selects Helena. Again, weirdo on weirdo.
They did,
right now.
yeah, they did bond. Yeah.
Aemond selects Luke. Oh, he's like
Luke had accidentally selected Aemond earlier. They're just drawn to each other.
What a strong choice I've picked out of the bag.
And Corlys draws Viserys. Okay, Viserys did vote to keep him previously. They're on the mend at the moment. Let's go to our Power of Veto competition. Ooh, voodoo dolls, something out of Karth, perhaps. Dealing with black magic here. The competition comes down to Aemond, Corlys, and Viserys. Once again, Aemond was a nominee. I was about to say all three of the undrawn men here.
I think this is Otev, maybe. It looks like it's Otev. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so it's like I don't know, what is it, like a giant statue of it's a giant dragon skull that Viserys was in front of in the first episode.
Balerion, yeah.
Bring me back the dragon egg name of the person who was evicted on day 9.
Man, Damon would have been so good at that one.
Oh, yeah. He would have gone rappelling down into the chasm and everything to grab the little eggs. And the winner of the Power of Veto is Corlys.
Wow.
This is huge. He needed it. Corlys
saves himself.
His second veto saves himself from eviction. Corlys is, of course, going to use the veto on himself. Larys, smiling ever menacingly, shakes his head and stands up and quietly mutters the name of Rhaenys.
Yeah.
Oh,
your wife.
If I don't vote you off, I'm getting off your wife.
Yes, that's right.
Yikes.
All right, so here we go. The two leaders who wish, two people who wish they were sitting on the Iron Throne at one portion of time.
Mhm.
Aemond and Rhaenys, one of them will just miss out. The juror that never was, perhaps, for Rhaenys.
Mm.
Let's go to our house events here. Aemond and Viserys have a heated argument.
Wow.
Makes
Like
sense.
I lost my eye. Can I borrow your sapphire, please?
Like
So we can-
just
can I have
just
it?
so
Yeah.
you know, right after I left that dinner, I heard what you were saying.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, why didn't you stick up for me back there? Up, here we go. A little bit of time in the throne, and the ego of Aegon, which is a tongue twister in and of itself, is
Yeah.
rubbing the house the wrong way.
Can't spell Aegon without ego.
Yeah, exactly. Ego my Aegon. Larys holds a house meeting to apologize for his behavior in the house. It is well received.
Look, I'm
Yep.
sorry I made you all show me your feet.
Had a
I
bad case
promise.
of HOH-itis.
Yeah.
I won't do it anymore now that my power is up. It'll be good.
Finally, Helena and Alicent bond. That's nice. Alicent, I feel like, has
Oh.
always tried to connect with her daughter, despite
Yeah.
how offbeat she was.
Yeah. She hugs her, I think.
I'm sorry I made you marry your brother. It's,
Mm-hmm.
I promise we'll get him out one of these days.
Did you hear what you hear what the bugs say.
Yeah.
You just gotta do things sometimes.
All right, Aemond and Rhaenys. One of you two is going home right now. Do you think like one of the Septons is like the host, much like Julie Chen Moonves, right? Is very devout.
That's right. Yeah.
You are a child of the seven. All right, let's see. We've got 7 votes to evict right now, so it takes 4. Aegon is will he vote out his own brother? We shall see. Aegon votes to evict Aemond.
Yeah.
He knows who's coming for him.
Kristen told me what you said when you were looking for me. Not into it.
Also, maybe you could keep track of all my children out there. I think you're more likely to do it. You're very responsible. Alicent votes to evict her own son, Aemond.
Yep.
These
Wow.
Checks out.
Greens are just cutting their noses off to spite their faces. They're going to get like Vaemon style. Their whole face is going to get cut in half. Corlys.
Keep their
Now,
tongues.
this is interesting. Rhaenys did vote her husband off last time.
Yeah, she
Will
tried to get
Corlys
rid of him.
return the favor here? Corlys votes to evict Aemond.
Okay.
No, he's the bigger man.
This is just like when they had that argument where he disappeared for
Yeah.
5 years and then
Yeah.
came back and was like, "Look, I'm sorry, I was wrong."
All right, let's see. So it's 3 votes Aemond. 4 is the magic number here. Helena votes to evict Aemond. She says, "In for a penny,
Woo!
in for a dragon." I'm voting to evict my brother. Let's see. Luke votes to evict
Yeah,
Aemond.
of course. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
happily
Yeah.
vote to evict Aemond Targaryen.
Luke, on his way out the door, Luke pats Aemond on the shoulder with his hand
Mhm.
and says, "Don't worry, it was a really strong performance."
Oh.
Kristen Cole votes to evict Aemond. Viserys votes out his own son here. Very united effort here.
I
The
mean,
realm
everybody
is
loves
united.
Rhaenys. Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
the realm is united here to evict Aemond. Nobody loves Aemond, as it were.
Hmm.
Aemond becomes the final pre-juror here. Man, wallop of a pre-jury. Well, except with no disrespect to Arik and Eric. Aside from that, real heavy hitters going in the pre-merge pre-jury here.
Yeah. I think that last vote was kind of like they took a moral stand against drinking and dragoning.
Yes, please.
That's right.
Yeah, good friends do not like other people drink and steal dead women's dragons. It's just the right thing to do.
Mhm.
So here we are, our final 9: Aegon Targaryen, Alicent Hightower, Corlys Velaryon, Helena Targaryen, Larys Strong, Luke Velaryon, Rhaenys Velaryon, Sir Kristen Cole, and Viserys Targaryen. Will
Kristen
any
Cole's
alliance...
really been sandbagging it in these competitions.
Yeah, he's been
Well, he is
quiet.
from Dorne, so I think sand is natural to
Oh,
him.
Nice.
Let's see, our new HOH here. Big Brother Blackjack. Oh, the Blacks might have an advantage here. Let's see. It comes down to Kristen Cole, Helena,
Helena been killing.
and Alicent. Helena could win back-to-back-to-back HOHs here. And she does.
Oh wow.
What?
I'm here
Helena
for
of household. You know.
I
yeah,
mean,
wow.
listen, is it not applicable to the ending of Game of Thrones, right? That like
Yeah.
the person you
Yeah.
least suspect is going to be the
Yeah.
one that's the most
Hold
in
on.
power.
Have these all been mental comps? Because she's kind of cheating, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
This
She
was
knew what the
blackjack.
answers
Yeah,
would
you got to
be.
get 21. Yeah.
Does a countess counting cards if you know what cards will be next rather than what are the cards that everyone else has?
Wow.
All right. Helena stands up and she says, yes, my dream has happened. The house is covered in bugs. They outnumber the humans at this point. One more of you will be leaving tonight.
3 for 3 on nominating Aegon.
Let's see. It's Aegon.
Yeah.
And it's Corlys.
That's hilarious.
Man, name a more iconic rivalry than Helena and Aegon.
Wow. I love it.
Twice she's nominated Aegon. Twice he has
Yeah.
won the veto and taken
Yeah.
himself off the block. Corlys also recently took himself off the block. This is a battle for the ages here.
That effing Aegon Targaryen. And they could be a final two, similarly. Yeah, this could be a move from Helena, right? Of like 2 biggest POV threats. One of you is guaranteed to go at this point. So let me hedge my bets.
Feels like a
along-
bad idea if she's like, let's take out all the people who keep winning the competition.
Yeah. Don't look at me, the person who won 3 HOHs. Helena draws house guest choice and selects Lair's. I'm seeing like a nice bond here between the two of them.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Aegon draws Luke. He's picking up where his brother left off. Corlys draws Alicent. Veto competition, tumbling dice, real gambling themed here. All right.
Corlys is out.
Corlys is out. It comes down to Larys, Helena, and Aegon.
If Helena stops Aegon's POV win, that's pretty fun. And she
Can
has Lars
Aegon-
who's like working. Yeah.
Save himself for the 3rd time in a row of being nominated by Helena.
The winner of the power of the veto is Helena.
No!
That's
Combo
so
breaker.
fun though. Yeah, like breaking the streak. It's so good.
All right, let's go here. And it's interesting, right? Because Aegon is the one that's
What if she
frequenting Flea
takes-
Bottom, all these gambling establishments, and Helena's the one to end him here.
What if she says?
No, I sealed your fate. I'm just being that straightforward with it. Well, let's see. Aegon and Corlys, they go through the discussions. Aegon has his head down. He's a little hungover, to be quite honest. Helena does not use the power of veto. Her nominees are set in stone right now. So we're going to be starting the jury off with another heavy hitter here as one of Aegon or Corlys is going to be going. Taran, how dare you? After surviving the block last week, Rhaenys finds out she's rated low on the stock watch.
She
It
voted out
ruins
her own
day.
husband.
Yeah, you're still feeling the pains from that. You're going this entire rant. Amon gives her a 10. He's like, she's a queen. She's the queen that never was. I don't care. It just throws everything into it.
Yeah, I feel like this week has been like Helena has been like trying so hard. Like, please, can we please get rid of my abusive, terrible husband? And then there's a like in a corner of a room, and he's just like, but maybe we could get rid of Corlys.
Yeah, I think this is an issue. I think if Helena's not feeling it this week, then that could mean that she does not have the votes to get Aegon out.
Yeah, this is bad.
Well, Helena's having a rough time as she does break down and threaten to quit despite the fact that she is HOH and veto winner.
I think this is it. I think she doesn't have the votes. I think that she's finally beat Aegon. She's finally trying to send him out, and the house has told her, sorry, it's got to be Corlys.
Well, will Helena end up with Aegon on her face? Let's see.
Hopefully not.
Perhaps looking forward to her 4th HOH visit. Here we
She's
go.
trying to avoid that, actually.
Yeah, that's actively why she's nominated him 3 times. All right. Let's see. Alicent votes to evict Aegon. Alicent is just saying, F my children at this point.
Yeah.
She wants to be unencumbered.
Takes 7 votes to evict here. Larys votes to evict Aegon. Okay, this could be another clean sweep to get out one of the Targaryen boys. Luke, will he finish the job? No, Luke votes to evict Corlys.
It's just like Rhaenys again. Luke and Rhaenys earlier tried to vote out Corlys when
If
Otto was
we-
on the block as well.
If we had come in saying they will only be targeting their own side, we would have had a great storyline.
I love this. I just love all the stabbings in the feet that are this season. Larys does as well. Rhaenys.
No, he hates when you stab feet.
I
That ruins
suppose
his
so.
feet. Yeah.
Now let's see. Rhaenys, will she repeat history here? She votes to evict Aegon. Okay.
Oh,
Learn from her
it
mistakes.
could still tie.
could still tie. Kristen Cole, who did he kneel and swear his vote to? He votes to Kingslayer.
Wow.
Kingslayer.
Oh yeah, he crowned
Wow.
that boy. Yeah.
No
She did it.
better.
Helena finally took out Aegon.
And Viserys. Viserys also doesn't give a shit about his own children besides Rhaenyra.
Viserys is also having sort of like he's also here season. It feels like, yeah.
I mean, that is also Viserys in a nutshell, right? Like
No.
everyone's doing things, he's just kind of sitting back, being like, I think I have to pick up my jaw off the ground. Literally, I'm so shocked right now. All right, so the first member of our jury is the current king of Westeros, Aegon
Wow.
Targaryen.
Big move. Big move. Yeah.
All right, so interesting. The only person left out of the previous vote was Luke, who decided to support. Maybe, you know what? Maybe it was like, I know you're going to jury. You're my uncle. Let me like throw you a pity vote. Luke's already trying to gain that favor, unlike what he was able to do at Storm's End.
It's a hinky vote, maybe. Yeah.
Could
Look
be
at
the
these
case.
comp stats.
Gotta hand it to
Helena with 4 wins now. As many as everyone else in the house other than Corlys combined. Corlys with 2 wins there. So this is it's starting to look like Helena's game to win if nobody is looking to target her.
I do love this idea, though. This is an incredible storyline that the third time truly was the charm.
Yeah, that's
that
true.
Every other time on Helena's HOH, she nominated Aegon and he won POV. He probably figured as soon as he didn't that his game was done.
Yeah, it feels like Helena has Loras sort of they're a duo, you know. It feels like, yeah.
Is it possible that that was what was driving her and now she feels like, you know what, I'm good?
Yeah, she's done.
Yeah, because she did threaten to quit.
She did threaten to quit.
Yeah, it could be a thing if she's like going to go out on top here. It'll be very awkward if she joins Aegon in the jury house.
Oh, that would suck. You can't quit now.
The jury house of the Undying.
Yeah, don't quit now.
All right, let's go to our next HOH competition. The house guests must stand on a surfboard. It's a big test of balance. Let's see, Kristen Cole, you think he'd naturally be good at it, but he falls here, perhaps throwing the challenge. It's going to come down to Alicent, Corlys, and Viserys. Could we see Viserys now stepping into the kingly role now that his son is gone? The winner of the next HOH is Viserys Targaryen.
Ooh.
Wow.
Now, this is a man who has been promising himself to a bunch of sides. He knows he's going to make one person happy and at least 2 people very sad.
I have no idea what he's going to do.
He doesn't know what he's going to do.
No, he had to look in the past, right? He has to look to his dreams. What did the previous signs tell him, essentially? What's the prophecy that's been passed down from Jaehaerys and from Maegor when they played in their Big Brother seasons?
His only person is Luke, right? It's his only...
The dead person alliance.
Helena, I guess. All right, yeah.
Now, Taryn, does it count as pre-gaming if there's a prophecy passed down before you go into the Big Brother house?
Yes.
All right. Well, Viserys talked with Sir Derek of House Levasseur, and we'll see. Not to be confused with Ulrich and Eric. It's
Aegon
Derek.
the Conqueror is getting a lot of heat right now for setting up this pre-game prophecy alliance.
All right. Well, let's see how that gets enacted here. Viserys nominates Kristen and Corlys.
Corlys on the block again.
Yeah, I think this is the 3rd time in 7 weeks that he's been up.
I feel like he's been up every week at this point.
So other than Larys is the only person like Viserys is actually not related to, right? I guess because but Larys, no, he's not really related. He's like a brother. It's like
yeah,
a
but
cousin-in-law.
Viserys did love Harwin Strong, right? His that was
True.
his in between hand of the king. So like maybe Larys was able to dupe him, missed him into being like, oh, my dad loved me, my dad loved you. Let's work together for his sake.
Yeah, but it's like those are the only 3 people who he's not like related to, right? Or married to, I guess. Yeah, he's like, yeah.
All right, participating in the veto alongside these 3 gentlemen are Luke, Alicent, and Larys. Let's see what goes down here. BB Galaxy. We don't talk a lot about astronomy in the Big Brother house. They're more so focused on the plight of their own world, especially from Viserys's perspective. Comes down to Corlys, Luke, and Viserys. Corlys needs a veto here. Viserys would like to keep his nominations the same. Luke, who the hell knows? The winner of the power of the veto is Luke.
Wow.
Just a week of wild card wins here. First victory for Luke since the very first. All right.
Wow.
What do we think here? What do we think Luke's going to do with the veto?
That is he's tried to vote out his granddad twice.
He has. I think Corlys is trying to make a plea like, hey, I was close to death.
Yeah, that's right.
I was almost there.
I'm nearly dead.
And Kristen is saying, I've killed a bunch of people.
That's true.
I mean, Kristen could say, I didn't cut out your eye when Allison asked you to. Like, do me this solid.
Right? Yeah.
All right. Luke is not going to use the power of veto at the end. He says, I don't want to be Lord of Driftmark. I don't want to be the power of veto holder. I wash my hands of this responsibility.
Yeah.
All right.
Fair.
My hand.
Yeah, sorry, my hand.
Don't be insensitive.
Yeah, sorry, the hand just goes, like it's shaking its head, and then just scurries off. No. I would say it does the X, but it's only one.
Yeah, that's right.
Just thumbs down. All right, let's move on to our house events here. Helena opens up to Viserys by sharing a personal story.
This is the prophecy. Is she know the prophecy? She's a dreamer. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Things
that's true. They
well
do bond
you,
by
Viserys.
being dreamers here.
Mm-hmm.
The pressure of the game gets to Luke, leading him to have a public emotional breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just imagining a hand kind of flopping.
The hand blanketing, just wrapping itself up in the blanket in the DR.
Yeah.
Humping in. Helena irrationally lashes out at Corlys.
This is twice they've said that she is irrationally lashing out.
Yeah.
And Corlys has been surviving all these votes. I feel like Corlys once again is like getting a favorable edit.
Well, if he doesn't have Helena's vote, I don't know.
Yeah, there's
not a lot. Not a lot of votes.
True.
5 people voting this week. Every vote counts. Viserys finds out they rated highly on the stock watch. It brightens their day. People might not think I'm a good king, but this week I'm a good player.
This is a good move. He's not, none of his family. He's not putting up any of his family.
I think taking Corlys out is big.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see though if it ends up going through here, as it's either Corlys or Kristen Cole. I mean, Kristen Cole is a goat right now, in my opinion.
Corlys is also the biggest person on the show, keep being like, Rhaenys, you should have been queen. Even Rhaenys is like, probably not. And it's like, that really undermines my reign as king.
And here's the thing: George R.R. Martin actually was a guest on the Stock Watch this week, and he said, you know what, Viserys doing even better than the Game of Thrones Big Brother game that I wrote.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm working on the Winds of Winter. Don't worry, but I want to do this one Stock Watch. I'm a big fan. All right, let's see. I love Goose Goose Duck, but in my way, they mean very different things. All right, let's see. So we have, again, 5 votes to evict here. 3 is a magic number. Alicent votes to evict. Sir Kristen Cole, again, a little bit of
she did that before.
Yes, he sure did.
Beast Mode Night Boy, in a manner of speaking, right? Getting a little too close for comfort. Helena votes to evict Sir Kristen Cole.
Wow. He did have her vote. How is Corlys? Well, not yet.
Great. Yeah.
Again, Corlys can't die. He survives by the skin of his teeth. Let's see. Larys Strong votes to evict Corlys.
Okay.
And we know how Luke votes.
Luke votes to evict Sir Kristen Cole. This kid is just
plea
going
worked.
After he lost his parents, it's just any way the wind blows for this kid. And
He-
Rhaenys,
I think he convinced him with the "I was closest to death."
yeah. And Rhaenys votes to evict Kristen as well, keeping it within the family. Again, making up for her misgivings and voting him out. Maybe she pulled a meta world peace and was like, oh, I thought I was voting to keep you. And that's why I caused that tie vote. So yeah, somehow the misting of Corlys Velaryon, much like a mist off the sea, perhaps on a foggy night, is able to convince the vast majority of the house to keep him over Sir Kristen Cole.
This is a very fun week because it feels like Corlys is the obvious vote, and then there's slowly this tide of like, yeah, but what if we voted like Kristen?
And we know that Corlys is the master of the tides.
That's right.
Corlys starting to look like the Taylor Hale this season. On the
agree.
block every week, continuing to survive over and over.
Yeah, and he loves salty things to eat, perhaps. Sea salt chips are his favorite brand of Lay's. All right, so Kristen like generally like does like kneelings and hugs and says words of affirmation to every person on the way out, right? Just due to his honorific code.
Kristen Cole was the only person on this cast to not have a comp win, and they voted him out over Corlys.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
And it's due one day. It'll happen. I mean, it's like the Joseph thing, right? From last season. I'm like, he'll probably win one of these days. He's athletic. He's young.
He's got experience in real war, guys.
Well, the best part was like he would refuse to take his armor off for every competition.
Well, just because it took
huge
too long.
hindrance.
It's a big hassle, guys.
Yeah, they did it one
Rhaenyra
live
had to do it.
episode. He needed to take his armor off.
Yeah,
and
it's
it
like
took,
when Xavier,
5
right, was
minutes.
doing like the afro walk, and it took way too long. The Septon's like, please, Sir Kristen, this is taking too long. All right, here we go. The 7. Alicent's particularly happy about this, but specifically because she's a part of it, alongside Corlys, Helaena, Larys, Luke, Rhaenys, and Viserys. Gotta say, the dead people hanging in there, unlike what they were able to do on the show proper.
Dead Person Alliance holding strong.
All right, let's go to our HOH competition. The s'more, the merrier. Bringing the heat once again. Oh, they're transporting hot chocolate. That's scalding, perhaps. And so it comes down to Luke, Alicent, and Corlys. The winner of the next HOH is Alicent. Return trip to the HOH throne here.
She's been close a lot, but she finally gets another one.
Giving the nightshade to her 2 sons, she now finds herself in power.
What did she do last time? I don't really remember.
That was back in week 3, I think.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Yeah, that was like I think one of the big. That was not the big Corlys vote.
Could be.
All right,
Did she take out Rhaenyra?
Oh, she did take out Rhaenyra.
She did take. Yeah, that was the Rhaenyra. Yeah, that was the Rhaenyra Luke vote.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Alicent's nominees. Now, look, then she really, was able to get her revenge. Now it's just for fun. She's effing around. She's finding out, though she would not eff around. Again, this is Alicent Hightower we're talking about. She is going to nominate Luke and Rhaenys.
Yeah.
Just substitute 2 letters in there, and it's pretty much the same nominations.
This was another misunderstanding. She thought that Rhaenyra was still in the house, and she's doing the same nominations again.
Yeah.
She looked on the memory wall. She's like, wait, what does that say? All right, so here we go. Now, we are at 7, so only one person is not going to play in the Power of Veto competition this time around. And we have Larys, we have Corlys, and we have Helaena. So Viserys sitting this one out, sitting in his throne with his golden cane to watch power completely.
I thought maybe in his tub.
Ooh, yeah, that's very true as well. Just being sponged the entire time.
Yeah.
Back in time, only appropriate, given this is a prequel series. It's the title of this competition. And it's going to come down to Alicent, Helaena, and Corlys. Let's see what ends up happening here. The winner of the Power of Veto is Alicent. Clean sweep of the week. This is really her right. Listen, Alicent Hightower on the show started off fairly meek, then rose into prominence, found her power to the point where her father was complimenting her on it. Seems to be a similar case here.
Is it possible this is a backdoor play to get rid of her final child?
Well, I was actually thinking that Alicent might be the person who would most likely use the phrase backdoor and be like, I think we have to backdoor Corlys. Like, well, if you got the play, I don't think it's technically a backdoor.
Yes.
But yes, I do think it could be.
All right, let's see if Alicent has a big brain plan in mind here. Or will her heart take over? Alicent uses the power of veto on Rhaenys.
Somebody finally told her, nah, it's not actually Rhaenyra.
You said Helaena. I actually wonder if this is to take out Viserys.
And she says, listen, I'm going to come to you one more time. Work with me here. I'll use the veto on you. This is how loyal I am to you. And so, Alicent, single-handedly wielding power here, will replace Rhaenys with
Corlys! It wouldn't be a week of House of the Dragon Big Brother BrantSteele without Corlys on the block.
That's right.
He's setting a new record here right now as Luke and Corlys, one of these Driftmark-bound boys, will not survive the week.
More like Corlys Valeri on the block.
There you go. More like Corlys Valera Pawn.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Yeah.
All right, let's see what's going on in the house. Oh, Allison earns extra money for this week's budget in a task. Who knew? We need Lord Beesbury to come in and manage the budget here, Grace, the treasury.
Yeah, so maybe Allison is not, she's not going to rule the kingdom, but perhaps she would like to be master of coin.
Yeah, that could be the case. Larys finds out that they are rated high on the stock watch. Brightens their day, Darren.
Do we think this was Larys? Do we think Larys was like, Allison, I'm telling you, that's not Rhaenyra, it's Rhaenys, and Corlys is the guy we need to take out.
I think so.
I think what Larys does is, you know how I said that whole thing about like, oh, Allison wants to broker trust with Rhaenys by using the veto on him. I think Larys made this entire thing up, right? Like, oh, Rhaenys will totally work with you. I talked with her. You know, set up much like Allison accidentally, essentially executed Harwin and his brother's deaths, essentially. Yeah. Here, Allison's like, oh yeah, sure, I'll do this. Great. And Larys is like, aha, you don't realize what you actually did. And now I owe you one big favor. All right.
Yeah.
So let's see here. 4 votes to evict. What do we think here? Does Corlys survive the block yet again?
I mean, he's had, well, so Rhaenys has gone back and forth, right? Viserys, I think.
Well, Rhaenys voted Corlys out once, but has every other time he's nominated voted for him to stay.
Helaena did have the blow up with Corlys, but she did vote for him to stay last time.
And she's with Larys. I feel like her and Larys are together, so I don't,
Viserys did put Corlys on the block, and has the dead person alliance that is non-existent in BrantSteele with Luke.
This might be Corlys's time to finally come, or tied. Let's see here. Helaena. Actually, I'll start with Rhaenys. Rhaenys. Oh! No! She may have seen where things were going and said, well, I'll just go with it. Rhaenys votes
you don't choose
with the new Lord of Driftmark.
You either sail into the storm or around it. You don't wait for it to come to you, Mike. Yeah.
All right. Helaena votes to evict Luke.
Ooh.
This is for my brothers, even though I voted both of them out.
That's right.
Larys votes to evict Corlys.
Okay, it comes down to Viserys.
It often does. Viserys Targaryen votes to evict Corlys.
Wow. And it finally comes to an end.
The recovery only lasted a certain amount of times.
You had to backdoor him. That's what you had to do.
They went for the head of the sea snake, and this time they did not miss. Corlys was voted out in 7th place. What a run for the sea snake, truly.
Yeah, I think that Viserys went to Rhaenys and said, "Look, I know you want to keep your husband around, but is this really your vote to make?" Said, you know what, you're right.
This could be a Rhaenys being like, "Screw this! I could have been queen once upon a time. I don't need him. Perhaps I'm being targeted because of him as well." This is Lisa Donahue not letting Eric back into the house, all over it.
Yeah, wow.
All right. Well, we've got Comp Beast Helaena. We've got Dead Person Alliance Luke and Viserys. We've got Wild Card or Wild Foot Larys Strong. We've got Go with the House Rhaenys, and we've got Misunderstanding Allison.
Yes. So it's quite a cast of characters right now with no alliances to be seen. True colors.
Is it end the streak for Helaena, or she could have won last time?
She could have won last time, I believe.
Okay. Right.
Actually, yeah, she could have won last time because she won at 13, 11, and 9, I believe.
Yeah. Those mental comps.
All right. Yeah. So let's see here. It's going to come down to Luke, Rhaenys, and Larys. 2 of them have... Oh, no, Larys was an HOH, I believe. And so the winner of the final 6 HOH is Rhaenys.
Wow.
Ooh.
Went from losing her husband to not grieving. It's all about true colors. She is not donning the black, as she is now in her mourning period and ready to see a new day dawn.
I feel like Allison's be like, good thing I saved her last week, only for, I presume, to be immediately nominated.
Now's the time.
Let's see the keys here, because there's only so few people left. So Rhaenys dramatically turns the first key. Allison,
never mind.
You were safe. Kept your promise this time around.
I think the move here is Helaena, right? You got to take the big shot.
I think maybe, yeah, I was gonna say an Alicent backdoor, but again, we're at 6. I would say Helena Laris, I think would be
Yeah,
my
they've been
two
a
nominees.
duo. Yeah.
Yep.
So Alicent is safe. Viserys,
Mm.
you are safe.
You do got to watch out for the dead person alliance too, though. She's in some rough waters here.
And Luke
It
is safe.
is. There
the
it is.
nominees are
Do
indeed
you know what? You know what
Helena and
keeps
Laris.
working though is that Luke and Viserys can be like, "I know we're dead, but your son is also dead." And she's like, "That's right, my son is dead." Little
And
does she
who's
know.
responsible for
Yeah,
Rhaenys finally taking the shot she needs to take.
agreed.
Listen,
Big
she
move.
takes her shots when she needs to. She reserves fire for certain occasions. The final 6 was an appropriate occasion.
This week
Everyone-
has big like, boy, Laris better go home energy. People like so worried that Helena is gonna get voted out here, even though Laris is like the evil puppet master. You know?
Yeah, this could be a week where they start
It's-
comparing notes.
Yeah, it's Evil Puppet Master with Comp Beast on the block. So big threats all around.
All right, let's see what happens. Big Brother Stock Exchange. Speak about Stock Watch. Rhaenys finishes last. Laris finishes 5th. And Alicent finishes 4th. So one of Luke, Viserys, or Helena is going to win the final
Can
6
Helena
HOH.
pull it out?
Ooh, Helena finishes in
No!
3rd. The winner of the Power of Veto is Viserys.
Man,
has
dead
won.
person alliance is so strong.
The dead are rising.
Yeah,
Look,
that's
listen,
right.
Game of Thrones. What did they say? The dead are coming back, and they're gonna take over Westeros.
Is
Look
the
what is
night-
happening here.
Is the Night King did the Night King also set up a pregame alliance?
Is this not the Song of Ice and Fire? That this was not prognosticated that the
That's
dead
true.
would come to life and take
It's
over
true.
the house? It was there the whole time. All right, so we assume Viserys is not going to use the veto, right? Unless he works out some sort of deal here.
No, he can't use the veto here.
He uses
Of course
the
he
veto.
uses the veto. To be fair, that is his granddaughter. Yeah.
Yes, that's
No,
true. In
it's
there.
his daughter. No, yeah, no, it's his
No,
daughter.
it's his daughter.
His daughter.
It's his daughter.
Yeah, it's his daughter. So
he gets a little bit of a heart here. He says, "I didn't care much for my sons, but my daughter." She's
the
I think
problem,
he wants,
the problem
he
is
wants
the
to
only
keep the comp
replacement.
threat in.
Yeah, but the only replacements are also his family. I think. I guess like he's only married to Alicent.
I mean, he better hope that Luke doesn't go up on the
yeah,
block.
this is
Yeah.
bold. This is bold.
Maybe he knows what Rhaenys will do.
Rhaenys nominates Luke.
Oh,
I think she promised him that she wouldn't nominate Luke, and then completely goes back on her
I
word.
think
in my
so.
opinion.
I think she stabbed him in the back.
Oh my goodness, Luke and Laris. LOL. I'm laughing right now. And all we know about the House events is Alicent and Laris bond extremely well.
Yeah, this
Oh.
scene, I don't like it.
Alicent's like, he's not that bad after all.
No. Alicent, why are you putting your feet on the table? Don't put your feet on the table. No, don't take off your socks. No.
Laris is like, you know what? Fair game. Time for you to see my feet.
Oh, okay.
She's like, all right, well, I appreciate the reciprocity. He really opened up to me in this instant. It could work out well here. So we have
Not looking good for Luke.
Viserys,
yeah,
what are you
3
doing?
votes to evict here. Alicent, Helena, and Viserys. So I'd assume Helena votes to evict Luke. Laris's last minute campaigning may work out for him here and end up keeping him by at least 2-1.
We'll see. Well, should we look at Helena's vote first?
Yeah, let's see Helena's vote first. Helena votes to evict Luke. Most
Yep.
obvious.
Maybe then Viserys. Well, we would hope Viserys still votes to keep Luke here.
Yeah.
We always save Viserys for last. Yeah, let's give him an opportunity to not be the deciding vote this time around.
Okay.
Yep.
Viserys votes to evict Laris. Too close to each other, I think. Too rhyming. Comes down to Alicent. Is it too little, too Laris? Alicent votes to evict Luke.
Yep.
Wow.
Viserys is distraught, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. He's so mad. You know, those times he gets really mad. He makes a big mean speech, you know? Yeah.
He thought he thought everyone was on his side. He thought he didn't need to draw any lines. And now it's all crumbled around him.
Man.
All right. So, yeah, here we are. Luke gets, by a vote of 2-1, after he is put in a ratio of 2-1 in terms of his body by a dragon, he is evicted from the Big Brother house. Now,
man.
top 5, baby. Alicent, Helena, Larys, Rhaenys, Viserys. With no offense to Luke, I really like this lineup. Helena has made a name for himself, and everyone else I feel like has made an impact in House of the Dragon proper that this feels nice.
Yeah, it's good. I think it'll be hilarious if Viserys is at the end of this.
I'm feeling
yeah.
the Helena Larys duo here. They managed to survive. That was a dangerous week for them. I think they're really well positioned right now.
That's oh no, I was gonna say it's last black, but technically Rhaenys is like the last black, right?
Yeah, it'd be a real June Allison final 2 situation, right? Where the jury's like, I don't want to vote for either one of them. They're both really weird and creepy. All right, let's see. Who's going to become our next HOH? Helena surprisingly finishes last here, so it's going to come down to Larys, Viserys, and Alicent. Our new HOH is Larys.
Ooh, that's big.
Guaranteeing himself a spot in the final 4.
That feels good for Lars for his own like resume in terms of having another comp win.
And here's the thing, I don't even trust that he won't backstab Helena here.
I agree.
I think there may be a couple of tongueless people roaming the Big Brother streets right now.
No, Luke could have been that tongueless person. He got voted out already. Luckily, a hand could pack very light, right? He just like grabs the suitcase and just like drags it out. All right. So Larys is going to very like salaciously pull out his first key for Alicent, appropriately enough. Second key is for...
Is it Helena?
It's for Helena.
It is.
So, Rhaenys and Viserys, the cousins, facing off against each other on the block. At one time, competing for Jaehaerys' throne.
Yeah, really. There was a vote to see which one of them would be on their turn.
His nomination speech was, love is overrated. Feet are all that matters.
All right. Let's see here. Everyone's participating in the veto. Loose change. The house guests must search through the laundry suds to find various coins. Now, I do believe that Larys is the only non-noble, or I guess he is, now he's Lord of Harrenhal, so maybe he's but probably the most grounded, I would say, of everyone left. So it's only appropriate that he is here alongside Rhaenys and Alicent in the end.
I will say, Terry, you said that like as soon as Aegon was gone, Helena's just like, I don't care about this game anymore.
She hasn't had the fire in her. I think Larys has just been sort of like nudging her left and right.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, the winner of the power of veto here is Larys.
Ooh.
Another keen sweep of the week. Larys is heating up right when he needs to, in my opinion. Now we're in the pointy end of the game, much like the Spear of Dorne, where it's really competition-based, and Larys has just shown that perhaps like another limping character in Kaiser Soze, like it might have been a ruse the entire time.
I normally am not ever like, like I don't really care who wins. I really don't want Larys to win like so badly. I'm rooting for him to lose so badly right now. Yeah.
Look, he's making a name for himself. He's making things happen. He's done things both behind and in front of the scenes here, which is impressive. So here we go. It's pretty much down to... So yeah, I'm pretty sure Larys isn't going to use the veto here. He does not. Let's see what's going on in the house. Rhaenys finds out they are rated high on the stock watch. Was this like a sympathy thing? Was this like, oh, Rhaenys was playing so well, she's probably gone, but I want to give her high marks for the game that she's played commemoratively?
Yeah, I think that I was out sick that day. I think
came down with the grayscale, unfortunately.
She let Larys and Helena off the hook, and now look where she is.
Also, Grace, Viserys holds a house meeting to apologize for his behavior.
Yeah,
it is well received.
He got his grandson.
Why can't we all just be family?
Yeah.
I'm just so happy we're all back together. Listen, his speeches can unify. They have beforehand.
Yeah, until he walks out of the room.
All right. Let's see what happens here. So it's going to come down to 2 votes right now. Alicent and Helena. Where do we think Alicent is going?
Well, she used the veto on Rhaenys, and then Rhaenys did not nominate her.
That's right.
So they have a little bit of a...
The question is, though, is that water under the bridge, or is that like actually forging a long-lasting relationship?
I think she's ready to ditch her husband. I gotta say, she's like, yeah,
Mhm.
he's a decrepit old man by this point. It's like, no, thank you.
All right. Alicent is going to vote to evict
Oh, that's not.
Rhaenys.
Ooh.
No lost love.
That is the better
here.
move, I think. Yeah.
I think
Listen.
that Larys came back and he said, "You know what? I was wrong. That is Rhaenyra."
I knew it. All right. And so it's going to come down to Helena. Now, Helena would assumingly do what Larys wants to do. Now, the question is, would he, could Larys have pointed Alicent purposely in the wrong direction, knowing that he and Helena could then have the votes to win out the day no matter what?
Yeah, there's also this thing I think during this as the show is going on, people are like, "Oh, certain like clearly Viserys is going to be like poisoned and killed," and like, no, just keep him around for a really long time to just like
Yeah.
let him be living. And so I feel like this might be another example, just like let him keep living. Just
We
let him
all
hang
thought
around.
Viserys would
Yeah.
be the first boot, and
Yeah.
here he is at
Yeah.
the final 5.
Yeah.
Listen, he was able to survive multiple time jumps relatively in okay health condition. Like,
That's right.
yes, he can survive a lot here. So
Yeah.
Helena will vote to evict Rhaenyra.
No.
There it is.
Rhaenys, damn it. Now,
Oh, what a
in my head.
misunderstanding!
Poor Rhaenys, the winner who never was right
Oh.
now. Really, to your point, Taran, I think just made a big mistake. We predicted this, right? The one time she got into power, she ends up taking a shot when she wouldn't have at the wrong power players, and she ends up suffering at their hands.
Yeah.
The two of these people, Twitter would be so mad at them. Viserys takes one of them off the block. Yeah, this is bad. Yeah.
All right. Well, they're making up 2 of the final 4 right now, and talk about a hell of a double date as we've got Helena and Larys and the happy betrothed couple in Alicent and Viserys that stems all the way back to the very first episode of the series.
Viserys right now is the only hope of the season for I think that like Viserys is the Nicole A that is like trying to compete against the power couple of Larys Mickey and Helena from Wyoming.
Yes. Helena, 17, King's Landing. She bakes buggy cakes. All right, let's get into our final 4 here. Before or after may be tough. Viserys does have a tough time remembering things in his older age, so this may be a little bit of a difficulty for him.
This could be Helena's another mental comp.
3rd place is Alicent. It's going to come down to Viserys or Helena. Guaranteed a spot in the final 3 is Helena.
She knows what the answers are before they're even asked.
4th HOH for Helena. Now, she's going to nominate 2 people. This doesn't matter. This is a mummer's farce of nominations, essentially, because it all comes down to the power of veto at the final 4. But she probably won't nominate Larys. I'm assuming she's going to nominate Alicent and Viserys. Yeah, she nominated her parents.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Mom and Dad, my boyfriend is totally cool. Stop trying to get me to break up with him.
I really do see this narrative, though, that, like, Helena votes out her husband and, like, forms a showmans with Larys.
Oh, I hate it. Get rid of Larys, please. One of these 2 needs to win veto.
They both love legs. There's so much in common between the 2 of them. I don't know. I kind of ship it.
No.
All right.
No.
Here we go. So, our final 4, final power of veto of the season. Each house guest has a staircase. Uh-oh, Larys, leading to the power of veto. Viserys finishes in last. The competition comes down to...
It's tough to step upstairs.
Yep.
Your body is decomposing.
The competition comes down to Alicent, Helena, and Larys. 3rd place, Larys.
Ooh.
So either Alicent has saved herself and won the final power of veto, or...
And then we'll also decide who gets evicted between Larys and Viserys.
Right.
Or Helena has won it, and essentially, I'm assuming, we'll keep the nominees the same. The winner of the final power of veto is... Helena!
Oh, they're unstoppable!
Wow. Rejuvenated. Rejuvenated. Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't need to remember days. She basically is a human calendar, right? Of like everything past, present, and future.
Can her parents convince her that her boyfriend is bad news?
Oh, if I had a nickel every time, I'd be able to pay out the debt that the Lannisters faced. Helena does not use the
Oh.
power of
The only,
veto.
Allison keeps going to Viserys, and because Helena keeps being like, but Lars, he's so dreamy, and Viserys thinks that means he's a dreamer. So
Yeah,
he's like,
oh, okay.
totally cool with the role. He's like, that's great, and Allison's like, no, it's not.
No, this is
Yeah.
great. He has dreams about what to do in the future. Oh, you like fire as well? Fantastic. Helena kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet. It is of no consequence.
She forgot again.
That's true.
We missed the event where she remembered about the Iron Fleet.
Well, oh, never mind. Again, she's focused too much on the mental competitions. She doesn't need to think about the Iron Fleet at this point. All right, here we go. Alicent and Viserys. So if you're Larys, who do you get rid of here? Because assumingly you want to bring somebody who is easier to beat to get you and Helena in the final two.
Mm-hmm.
I think Alicent is the bigger comp threat.
I agree.
But I feel like Alicent is also the easier person that he can
That's
mold.
true. If he wants to betray Helena and bring Alicent as the easier beat, I think Viserys does have a little bit of that underdog energy. He could win a jury vote, so maybe he's more dangerous because of that.
He never really he didn't betray anybody, right? He he nominated Kristen and whoever else he not Corlys, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like there's the chance that he gets ripped apart for being like you thought you were loyal, but you played a very bad game. But yeah, I think it's probably smarter to vote out Viserys there.
Yeah, so let's see what logic holds here. Larys votes out Viserys. I mean, think about it. The very first time we saw Larys, right? He couldn't go on the hunt, so he was surrounded by all the gossipy matrons, essentially. Larys is not a guy's guy. I think
who does Larys? Yeah, he hangs out with all the women.
He wants to be the last man standing.
I can't believe we didn't think of this. Viserys barely even has feet left.
That's true. That's true.
No, unappealing to Larys.
No, they are peeling.
No. As Viserys, holding his face together, slumps his way out of the house at the final four. Finale night.
What a final three.
What a final three.
Boy.
Alicent, the Queen Regent, her daughter Helena, her daughter's boyfriend, Larys Strong.
This is pretty accurate to a Big Brother season. Of the three most hated. Not most hated. I don't think there's any reason to hate Helena. Helena's definitely being rooted for.
It's her association with Larys. The way we're just come on, Helena, you gotta break out from the spell.
I mean, what's wild is Helena has won twice as many competitions as either of Alicent or Larys.
Yeah, and I think what's funny here is that it's there's everybody is so mad at Helena for and then everyone's like, but wait, what if we could get our hopes up? And she dumps Larys before the end.
Cuts Larys to take Alicent. Yeah. Or maybe Larys has creeped people out so much that she just stomps all over him in a jury
That's
vote.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if Larys is winning a jury vote at this point, to be quite frank. All right, let's see here. No alliances were ever formed in this house, apparently. So here we are. Final HOH. So the way the final HOH works is it is done in 3 parts because it's a big to-do. It's like the coronation of a king, right? You don't just half-ass it. So there's 3 parts. All 3 of them face off in part 1, which is going to be won by Alicent.
Whoa.
So Alicent now moves on to the 3rd part of the HOH competition.
That's big.
And Helena and Larys are going to compete against each other. I agree. Very big, considering that Helena and Larys assumingly will take each other to the final 2. This is Alicent's biggest shot, essentially. She has to win this competition if she wants to sit in the final 2 here. It's alive, which is what people were saying when Luke and Viserys walked into the house. Helena and Larys are going to compete against each other. The winner will face off against Alicent. The winner is Helena.
Not surprising.
Yeah.
And this was a good move on Larys' part, right? This is the situation he wanted. He's going to have to get taken no matter what, and he wanted to hedge his bets.
Yes, and Helena will now be competing in a mental comp against Alicent.
All right, here we go. So, Alicent and Helena. Now, this is old school BB, so this is how the jury completed certain
Mhm.
statements, bit of an introspection into what the people are talking about, which is terrible for both of these people, considering they're usually shut up inside the Red Keep. They have
Mhm.
no idea what the commoners are thinking. The final head of household is Alicent Hightower.
Oh, the upset.
What a
Wow.
dilemma for Alicent, I think, here.
I don't know. I think she has to evict Laris here, right?
But
Oh,
Laris is
what's
the
up?
easier to beat.
Yeah, Helena's won 6 competitions.
She's gonna have to vote out her own daughter.
Let's see here. So Helena and Laris are holding hands as
Oh,
they sit together in the nomination
they're
chairs.
touching
Just
feet.
they're playing footsie under the table.
Uh-huh.
Allison stands up and says, with a somber eye, yet a smiling nod to the 7, I cast my vote to evict Laris Strong. Get the hell out of here, you creepo.
Oh.
Well,
Stay away from
I
my daughter.
am thrilled.
I think the call was you had to take out the bigger comp threat at 4.
Yeah,
I think that was it.
This will be a move that will be. This is podcast fodder if I've ever seen.
Mhm.
Yeah, did she make the wrong move?
Oh boy, Cody Calicent Fiore here, making perhaps a game-losing move right now.
Yeah.
So, Laris sadly walks out. He made it super far, but unfortunately couldn't win out at the end. The one person that he didn't want winning, he said, "You owe me a favor." That favor was not keeping
Oh
him to go to the
yeah.
final 2.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. They did bond. Yeah. Wow.
All right.
Very fun
So,
final 2, I think, actually, now.
very fun
Please.
final 2. Mother-daughter pairing
Yeah.
right now. Now, what is interesting, though, is yes, we talk up Helena's comp wins. Alicent did win 4. So it's like it's up there.
That's how
I
many
would
HOH
say.
wins.
I guess that's true.
I feel like Helena's full on like very upset teen at this moment of like
Mhm.
that her mom just voted out her boyfriend. So
Yeah, she's just pouting the entire time. Might carry over into the jury speeches as they face their jury here of Laris, Viserys, Rhaenys, Luke, Corlys, Kristen Cole, Aegon Targaryen. It's interesting. House of the Dragon, not the best show for female characters. Here to sit in the
Yeah.
final. Taryn, this is the second BrantSteele Lieutenant in a row where that was the case.
Yeah, I'm a little worried for Alicent though. I feel like her answers to the jury questions are not going to land super well. That like they're like, okay, explain this move, and she says, "Well, I heard Viserys talking in his sleep, and so I knew that Laris had to be the one to go."
Yeah, Viserys
yeah.
said something like Harry Potter. And
Yeah.
I knew
Yeah.
that meant I had to take out Laris.
Well, there's also like we saw Alicent's like speech to try to like plead to Rhaenys to be like, let me have power so I could just tell men what to do. It's like, or you could just do, you could just, do it. So I feel like her stuff isn't going to land particularly well. But then Helena's just going to be speaking like gibberish, I think, essentially.
If I could compare you all to bugs, here's what I would do.
Yeah, I gotta say, I was not expecting. You haven't really talked about it. I was not expecting a Helena Targaryen impression to be my favorite thing of tonight, but Mike Bloom keeps pulling it out.
Listen,
I love it.
Off season. Hopefully, this will survive into
Yeah.
season 2, unlike Luke
Yeah.
and Viserys. All right,
Could
let's
this
see.
have been a like 4D chess play by Helena that she knew that Alicent would take her, and this was her way of dumping Laris at the last second without having to get blood in our hands?
It's pretty fun.
I mean, listen, she is a Targaryen after all. Isn't the phrase you flip a coin and you never know which way they're going to turn out? Helena may have been playing possum this entire time. Ironically enough, in front of
she
dead
can
characters.
literally tell the future. So if
Yeah.
she wins this, I'm calling A, shenanigans, and B, applauding her.
You can do applaud nanigans, I think, is appropriate here. All right, now, how do we want to reveal these votes? Like, do we want to see anyone's in particular, or should we just do them in a certain order?
I don't think anybody has like a super rooting interest other than Laris, right?
So let's start with Laris. I'll work our way down here. So Laris votes for Helena to win. I think there's some bitterness involved. I never expected Laris Strong to be an objective party completely here. This is the man that, remember, did burn his entire family alive.
That's right.
Viserys, this is between his wife and his daughter, votes for Alicent to win.
Ooh.
I mean, listen, And it was not, it wasn't Allison's fault in particular that he ended up leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Renice votes for Allison to win.
No.
I think Allison's getting that underdog
Yeah,
boost
really.
here.
All right, so we have 2 votes for Allison, 1 vote for Helena. It's 7 votes total. Luke votes for Allison to win.
Wow.
I think
All
this
right.
is. I think she broke through. I think Helena got dragged down by her connection to Laris.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, and Corlys could be the clincher here. A man who has seen those final 2 chairs many times. Will he be the one to determine the winner of the final 2 here? Corlys votes for Helena to
Okay.
win.
All right.
She's
I
still
do-
alive.
I do really want Aegon to be the deciding vote. So I don't want to
Oh,
go.
no.
I do want Kristen to vote for.
Well,
There's no way
well.
Aegon
There's
votes
no
for
way.
Helena, right?
And there's no way Kristen votes for.
Yeah, Kristen. I don't know. Kristen.
I think he's votes
swore
for
his
Al.
Kristen
duty-
Cole could
Yeah.
absolutely.
Kristen
Mhm.
Cole swore his duty to Allison back in the day when she married Viserys.
She kept trying to
Targaryen.
vote him out.
Kristen Cole votes for Allison to
Yeah.
win.
There it is.
A Kingsguard's duty remains above all, and so that's what resounds here. And Aegon,
Aegon.
yeah, voted for
Yeah,
his
of
mom
course.
to win.
Of course. Wow.
All right, so by a 5-2 vote, Allison Hightower, people might not have thought it, but once again, she was able to learn the game as she was going, build the dragon as it was flying, as it were, and she became the winner of Big Brother House of the Dragon 2. But that's not all, folks. Westeros has been voting all season long
Ooh.
for their favorites of the season. And it's come down to Corlys, Laris Strong,
my-
and Luke.
It can't be.
All right, Laris is
Please.
third, right?
Let's see.
The Kyle of the season. Oh,
Luke.
Oh
is third.
no! It's got to
So it
be
could be-
Corlys. Come on.
So it could be either the perennially nominated Corlys or arguably the mastermind of the season in Laris. The fan favorite of the season is Corlys
Corlys.
Velaryon. Bringing one home for Driftmark. They finally get something. He's lost 2 children. He's lost 1 million dragons, but he has gained an America's favorite house guest prize.
Wow, that's great. The fun winner and a fun fan favorite. That's great.
Mm.
Yeah, here we are. This is how everything looks at the moment. Allison showed she was capable of the game, much like her dad showed. She voted out her dad, voted out both of her sons, kept her daughter close, but eventually was able to scrape through even in some tough difficulties to make it through to the end. I know Rhaenyra was applauding her haughtily in the end, respecting the move that she made. And she was able to do something that maybe people wouldn't assume Allison Hightower would do and be the master at the end of this Game of Thrones.
I loved when they cut to the pre-jury and Otto Hightower just doing a little golf clap. I loved it. It was great.
Do we
Yeah.
think it's possible that when the votes were read and it was 5-2 for Alicent, that she went, "Oh no, they voted me out."
Oh man. Oh, I'm evicted, and she just like walked out shaking her head, carrying her suitcase.
Yeah.
I like the stereotype of Allison just being a big dummy. It's very funny to me.
She's
This
decked
is-
out in all green, of course. She wore her finale dress the entire
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
to send a signal of not only this is the cash that I'm gonna win, the windfall that I'm gonna receive from winning
Lars-
this game.
Lars went to be like, and you know what it means when a high tower wears green, and he's like, oh yeah, I forgot, I burned you alive, brother.
I'm so sorry. You were the rare corpse that did not get brought back for this season.
Yeah.
All right, so here we are. Let's get some fun facts from this season. So this is how everything went. So weekly popularity. Oh, this is fun.
Oh.
Helena took a giant dip in the first week. And
As
pretty
we all
much-
know, Luke came into the series being the fan. I guess he did have a lot of sympathy coming out
I
of the
mean, yeah,
finale.
the boy did. There was that poor moment right where he's like, "I'm safe, I made it," and then just got eaten like it was the freaking whatever that dinosaur was in Jurassic World.
Well, no wonder everyone was like, they kept editing it for Helena to irrationally lash out. Look how unpopular she was.
Yeah.
No, yeah, so
down to a 0 by week 6.
Yeah, so people were Team Aegon, it seemed, in the big Aegon Helena stuff. So that
Corliss is
carried.
pretty
Week
up there.
7,
That's good.
Corliss
That's
gets a
fun. Yeah.
huge bump. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he pretty much. I mean, I'm assuming that was week 7, so that was the week that.
Is that the tie? That's not the tie.
Was
That
that
was
when he
the- that was-
survived
That was
against?
that was the final 8. So that was when we can actually see right now. It looks like that is when oh no, it was the week that he got evicted actually.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so him and Viserys got big bumps. I think it was like a little bit of like a sad sack, like the two of them being like, we could have made it happen. Why didn't we see together eye to eye a bit more?
Is that the
So he
week if
got-
Viserys uses the that's different? Yeah. That the week he uses the veto accidentally and sends Corliss home? Yeah, right?
I think
That's
so. So yeah,
Yeah.
so this is so by the end of it, Helena is just despised and Alicent is loved by the masses.
Yeah,
Only
underdog.
second to Corliss.
Yeah.
fun.
And Otto was third.
Yeah, it's golf clap.
Wait,
All right, well-
I thought it was Corliss, Luke, and Laris. Well, how did Alice and Otto both get in ahead?
Well, they're not letting Otto Hightower into any
So-
popularity polls.
Yeah, Luke and Lair's. Yeah. So yeah, Otto. Because Otto's pre-juror. Can a pre-juror not win? I guess that makes.
I guess
I
maybe
guess
that was
so.
the case. Maybe BrantSteele only opens it up to a
And
juror.
the
If that's the
finalists
case.
can't win. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
Well, that's like because like it felt like because I think like it goes like when you have the pre-juror and it's like Rhaenyra and Dan. I thought that they would be loved, but apparently, how mad would they be that Otto's just being loved on Twitter?
Otto is like the GIF master on Twitter.
Yeah,
He
he does a Rahap like podcast, and
he's
he
doing,
just
he's
like,
doing
he's great.
such
Yeah.
great SEO. Like
Yeah.
he has the social media game of like everyone vote Allison for AFP. I don't know if she'll make it.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. So let's see if I can get some stats here. Here we go. So times nominated. Corliss was nominated 5
Yeah.
times. I believe he was evicted in week 8.
Mm.
Aegon saving himself 2 times.
Rhaenyra, of course, appropriate to House of the Dragon. All eyes on her. She's all people can talk about. 11 times she was voted for.
Look at those 2 finalists never getting a vote all season.
That's wild. Well, I'm trying to think like, did either one of them?
So they're both nominated twice, and they both.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think like, did either one of them even face an eviction vote?
I don't think so. They both.
I don't think so.
Well, it looks like they must have because they're both nominated twice, but they each got saved once. That's what it says? So they each have to have.
Yeah, so I guess, but that means I don't think they've ever faced the final vote.
Alicent was up when Laris made the choice between her and Viserys.
Yeah, but for some reason they don't count that, I guess. Oh no,
But he
she
didn't vote for her.
Or he didn't vote for her.
voted
Yeah, so
out
it's a vote
Viserys.
received, yeah.
Right.
But that was it. So Helena sort of set a record there, right? Did not get a vote the entire season, and did not get nominated basically to face the vote the entire season, and comes up short, unfortunately. But what a run for Helena!
Giesling.
Really the surprise. And she is quite a surprising character in many ways. But I think we proved just how duplicitous perhaps she could be, and perhaps this is our own prognostication into the role she may play in the Dance of Dragons.
I mean, I think that what this BrantSteele has told us is that the Greens and Alicent are going to be the winners.
Yeah.
Look at
Bad
this.
news
Look at
for
this is fancy.
bad news for the Blacks.
Yeah. So
We don't see it. Just I believe.
Oh no. Okay.
I think you're just sharing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There is a. Hold on. I'll pop it up right now because I need to
Yeah, it's
show
pretty
it.
cool that it does this.
This is something new for BrantSteele. We have a voting chart.
Oh,
Beautiful too. So nice.
Yeah, so we didn't even need to do all this speculating. Yeah, Helena never faced an eviction vote until the very end. Alicent only faced it at the final 4. Laris only faced it at the final 6. Viserys only faced it at the final 5. Like, this might be, from a final 4 perspective, like the latest group of house guests to ever face an eviction vote.
there were a lot of repeat nominations with Aegon a bunch of times, Corliss a bunch of
It's
times.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, look at, there's a lot of time where it's like Rhaenyra and Eric are like nominated, and then like Corliss and Kristen nominated. They're like the person who is on the block against them gets voted out the next week.
Wow. So here we are at the end of it all. Unlike Game of Thrones, we were able to come to an ending. here for this season. This was a lot of fun. I'm really glad that we were able to use this as a way to bookmark, getting together before the season to talk through it from the Game of Thrones perspective, now from the House of Dragon perspective, as, the long winter of the off season continues on. This will certainly not be the last overall House of the Dragon podcast in the near future. There is one more coming. I will not say it for now, just because I don't know if it's been formally announced at the moment. I will keep that under wraps, perhaps be a master of whispers in that regard. But this was a lot of fun. I always enjoy getting to do BrantSteeles, and this was, as BrantSteeles go, as silly as usual. And I thought, despite there not being any formal alliances, a really fun narrative to follow throughout, much like House of the Dragon. Taran, always such a pleasure to have you on, especially breaking down Big Brother strategy. I know we had to dust off the cobwebs a bit because you've been about a month removed from talking Big Brother, but I know you are far from removed from talking reality TV in general. What do you have going on right now?
Well, as always, you can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Taran Armstrong. I'm watching episodes of Survivor and The Amazing Race as they air on Wednesday nights currently, and playing other fun games like Goose Goose Duck. I just did if you like silly things like this, I did the Big Brother 24 Soundbite Tournament, which I just put up an edited version of over on YouTube if you want to check that out, see which Big Brother 24 Soundbite was the champion this season and joined the ranks of I'm a Bad Boy from Big Brother Canada 10.
Real Mount Rushmore being formed there.
Truly. So check that out. And over on Twitter at Armstrong Taran, I'm usually tweeting out the things I'm doing.
Now, Grace, you are maybe have as many podcasts going on as Helena had competition with over the course of this season. What's been happening with you?
Yes, lots of exciting stuff. Interview with the Vampire with Rich each Sunday. The Crown is dropping a season this week, November 9th. I'll be covering the premiere with LaTanya Starks. Then Shannon Gus will be back from vacation to America, and we'll go through episode by episode with Shannon. And there's another Netflix show dropping. I'll just 1899, the show from the Dark creators, my favorite scripted TV show of all time. The creators have a new show coming, so looking forward to that, and movie coverage each week with Ariel as well. This week we're looking at Weird, the Al Yankovic story. Mike, I feel like that's like very much up your alley.
I love Weird Al.
Did you watch the movie yet? It's like
I have not yet.
Perfect. It's great.
I hear it's fantastic. I hear it's like the perfect level of like, it's a biopic, but at the same time, it's like incredibly goofy. I mean, listen, you have me at Evan Rachel Wood as Madonna, personally.
It's really good. And then I believe we'll have some Till coverage. I'm traveling, so I won't be able to join them for that, but I believe LaTanya and Ariel will cover that movie. And over on Rob is a podcast, over on the Twitch and YouTube channels, Roll Call, a board game show. We played Clue last month. We'll have another a game this November happening. I'm on Twitter at Hi From Grace.
I am on Twitter at a Mike Bloom type. From a scripted perspective, it's actually a little thin at the moment. I'm covering Heroes with Josh Wigler on Down the Hatch, but we actually took the rare week off last week. We're going to make up for lost time, much like Hiro Nakamura this week with a double recording. So be sure to check that out. Sort of lying in wait for some other stuff to come up. I mean, actually, you know what? I'll announce this now, right, Grace? Like we can make an announcement about something.
Yeah.
So there is another HBO new series that is coming in January that is from a highly acclaimed fictional world, The Last of Us, which has some Game of Thrones crossover in that, we got some Bear Island showing up in a zombie apocalypse, as well as Pedro Pascal. And I am elated to announce that Grace and I are going to be doing our usual ish for that show that we did for House of the Dragon. So we're going to be doing Sunday night recaps for that when it comes out. I believe January 15th, I think, is when it premieres. I also know I won't put too many words in Josh's mouth, but I also know that there plans to be more supplementary coverage. I think he's going to try to convince Rob to watch another zombie show. I think him and LT have an idea of some shows to compare to it. Maybe we'll do a little bit of like a video game book club podcast for people who have played the games. Taran, I know you're a gamer. Were you a Last of Us guy?
Yes. Yeah, I played both games. Big fan of the first one, especially.
Are you excited for this adaptation?
I am excited for it. So the like main director from the game was like heavily involved. I think maybe a showrunner of the show itself. So I think there's a lot of reason to feel like this. For people that haven't played the game or don't really know the reputation, it's pretty much, in my opinion at least, considered to be one of the most highly acclaimed stories in a video game.
My favorite story in a video game ever. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of reason to think this could be a very, very good show.
Yeah, so we shall check it out in a little bit of time, a couple months from now, but it'll fly by just like that.
It's very Game of Thrones adjacent. Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that. I forgot Pedro Pascal. Yeah, I guess I didn't recognize him without his head being crushed in.
The Lady Bear of Mormont. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, two HBO mainstays are making their way over, and some of you have heard this before. Pedro Pascal is carting a child around in a sort of barren universe.
Yeah.
So, and he'll also be making an appearance with that in February. So, check that out. You can also check out all the stuff I'm doing in the reality TV sphere. I'm doing podcasts and weekly exit interviews for both Survivor and The Amazing Race. Also, just want to put out here, I'm trying to do it all on my podcast this week. I was in Washington, D.C. last week for the live Know-It-Alls event. Really fantastically fun time, and also really great getting to meet all the listeners out there. There was a period of time where I got to have a bit of a House of the Dragon conversation with a couple of people that had attended, along with Dr. Amanda Rabinowitz, which was a really, really fun time. I just always love getting to connect with people about these shows, whether it's on mic or people who have been checking it out as well, especially something as prevalent and hot button as House of the Dragon. To get everyone's thoughts was really great, and all the kind words that people offered, it had a very strong feeling inside of me. So I was so grateful to have the opportunity, as I always do. And thank you to everybody who came out, and especially those of you that offered such kind words about the work that we're doing here on Post Show Recaps, because our watch continues. This may be the end for the BrantSteele and the end for a couple of us, but there is much more House of the Dragon stuff to come. And before you know it, you might go on into a long winter's rest and we'll awake again. And season 2 of House of the Dragon will be here, probably ending with Helena riding in on Dragonback, covered in bugs, ready to take over the 7 kingdoms. Thank you all so much for listening. Grace, Taryn, thank you both for your fantastic work as per usual. Take care.